Good evening and welcome to the Yeshiva Sports Network's presentation of the 2023 Myhsal Varsity Hockey Championship between SAR and Frisch, sponsored by the Myhsal Network. After an intense JV championship battle earlier this afternoon, we've made the 2-hour trip from Frisch to DRS to bring you all the action of the varsity end of this day-night doubleheader. This afternoon, you saw an exciting contest that saw TABC take the victory over DRS by the score of 2-1 in overtime. Aiden Rausman, the game-winning goal with 9:04 left in the extra session. Tonight, we turn our attention to the 11th and 12th graders as they look to stake their claim to the 2022-2023 crown. Hello, everyone, and welcome to DRS. I'm Elliot Weisselberg. In about 25 minutes or so, the ball will drop on the last hockey contest of the 2022-2023 winter season. Unlike the JV contest, this championship will not be a repeat of last year. However, it'll be a repeat of two contests played during the season between two teams that are all too familiar with each other. Frisch and SAR, two Western Conference powerhouses, worked their way through the regular season and scrapped their way towards the final as the number 3 and 4 seeds in this year's playoffs. Before we jump into tonight's matchup, we would like to thank our sponsors, the Myhsal Network, for exciting live coverage of Jewish music, Israel news, and Torah segments. Tune in to the JM in the AM every weekday morning on NSN, the Myhsal Network, the NSN app on your smartphones. When the ball drops, it'll be myself and Yeshiva League coaching legend and champion David Kolb once again on the call. But for the pregame here on the Yeshiva Sports Network, we turn it over to voices that have become familiar on our air over the last few years. Flatbush JV and varsity hockey coach Avi Don Berman, and Yeshiva League past resident hockey correspondent and Rambam JV and varsity hockey coach Josh Cass. I will see you again for the puck drop of the Varsity Hockey Championship right here on the Yeshiva Sports Network.
All right, once again, good evening to all of the viewers tuning in to tonight's Varsity Hockey Championship game featuring the Frisch Cougars as the number 3 seed and the SAR Sting as the number 5 seed. I'm Josh Cass with Avidan Berman right now, two coaches in the Yeshiva League. And Avidan, we've got just about 25 and a half minutes until the introductions begin for this game. Really looking forward to it. I don't know about you, but JV was one heck of a game. I can only expect even better things from varsity with really just everything that we've seen over the last couple of years. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, varsity pretty much always shows up, that championship game. It's always a good game. But if it's anything like that JV game was, we're going to be in for a good show. Yeah,
absolutely. And, we've discussed on, along with Elliot, who will be bringing the play-by-play along with David Kolb later, on our podcast or rather on the Yeshiva League Pass Face-Off podcast about the matchup that we'll be seeing tonight between these two powerhouses in the Western Conference, as it's called here in the Yeshiva League. But just to start it out with a general question, obviously, would you say just because the
had a good showing this year, you had obviously DRS, whose gym we're in right now, who also they lost to Frisch in the semis, so. Well, the West probably was a bit stronger this year. I think it was competitive on both sides of the river.
Well, one way or another, we know one thing is for sure, and that's that we are in for an incredible matchup between these two teams. If you saw the Junior Varsity Championship game, you saw TABC win in overtime. These two teams have played a championship, and that's a past rivalry we've seen in championships. This is also a past rivalry we've seen in championships. Just a couple of short seasons ago, before the coronavirus pandemic spread, shut the season down during the 2020 postseason. In 2 years prior to that, you saw Frisch and SAR match up in a championship featuring star players such as Gordy Kolb, who scored all 5 goals in those games. In that game, Joe Trop, Benji Feintuck, and Charlie Bendheim on the opposite end for Frisch, just to throw a couple names out there. So this is not unfamiliar territory towards both of these teams in terms of the history that we've seen them appearing in the game. With that being said, that's a past game. Those are past matchups and past players. This is the present, so let's get right into the matchup. We've got just under 23 minutes to go to break it all down for you, coming up here on myhsal.com, and I think that there's no better way to start it off than by breaking down what we are going to see right in front of us. So let's start with SAR, Avidan, as the visitors, the team that clinched their spot in the championship a little bit earlier than that of Frisch. So obviously we know that this is a team with a lot of firepower. They're a very senior-heavy team, a lot of depth, lots of talent. They've got speed, they've got skill. They all are smart. They bring lots of intelligence. And one thing more than anything, I think, is the fact that they're all very disciplined. We've seen that in past years. Sometimes that can get a little bit out of hand, but they've been under the right influence, I think, pretty much with the same mindset. It's gotten stronger and stronger as the years progressed. And I think that's something, that's really helped them along the way and get here. As we mentioned, they're the 5 seed. They're clearly not, right at the top of the class in terms of the seeding. So question being said, who is it on SAR that we're looking out for tonight and saying they're going to give SAR the best possible chance to win this championship
I
game?
think everything starts, discluding goalies because it's obviously the most important position. But
and we'll get to that.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
sure,
going to get to the goalies. But it all starts. It starts with Gabriel Hornblass, potentially the best player in the league. He's up there.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal player, excellent shooter. You have his line mate Asher Udman. You have, Neowitz is also a great defenseman. Fenster, Hain. It's a long list of names of players, but I think the most important thing to talk about with a team like this is because, obviously there's like Eitan Krause. There are 8 to 12 names here that are all really good hockey players, but the way that they play as a unit and as a team is probably the most important reason why they're here. And when you have a team that plays like a team, and while they're not a real 5 seed, they're more of like a 3 or a 4, and a strong one. When you have that kind of a team where you play that way, it gets you here.
Yeah, and there's certainly really no disappointment to either of these teams, and really a way, or I don't know if disappointment's the right word, but I'm not exactly looking at either of these teams and I'm saying, okay, well, this is the weak link we're going to use to beat either SAR or Frisch if I'm the other one. Obviously, we talked about how they're what they both bring on the Yeshiva League Pass Face-Off episode featuring the preview and breakdown of the championship matchups. But you touched on it, and I think that ultimately you hit the nail right on the head. Between anywhere from 8 to 12 players, I think, that we're really highlighting and saying this guy's going to be an impactful player or that guy's going to be an impactful player, especially in a championship game. Now let's go to the other side. Or actually, let's stay with SAR just for a minute. We know one thing's for sure. You mentioned they're deep. You mentioned they're talented. What do we think? You said that we'll get to goalies in a different matchup. What do we see from their goaltending that's really gotten them here so far? It's been an interesting ride for them, to say the least, I think. But that being said, not because of the fact that it's been an adventure with necessarily consistency issues, but rather, you mentioned all the depth, and probably within those anywhere from 8 to 12 players, I'm going to up it and go from 10 to 14 and say you have 2 goalies that could arguably be starting on any team in Yeshiva League this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I believe Konovich is starting tonight,
I think
as he's done in the playoffs. But
yes.
he the nice thing for him in a way is that it hasn't been like, oh, you're the starter all year round, right? He's been splitting the time. So I'm trying to think of who he is fighting with, the goaltender.
Elon Larry.
Yeah. So, when you have that as a goalie, when you always have a guy looking over your shoulder, it forces you to play better.
Yeah.
And Konovich's style is interesting because it's contrasting to, what's going to happen across, is that he's very much a shot stopper, where he uses his body and he attacks the ball, and he gets himself into positions. And while, and what the most important part is that when you're as a shooter, when you're shooting, if you can't see the net behind the goalie, it's much harder to score. And because because he plays as a bigger goalie, he is able to take that away, and it becomes really difficult to score, as TBC saw, whatever it was, last week and a half ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you hit the nail right on the head. Obviously, we're talking about the fact that they're deep, and in every facet, they have offense, they have defense, they've got goaltending depth. The thing that really separates them, I think, is, it's been part of that, or it's one of the factors that's been a part of, what allows them to have such a deep roster. And when you also mentioned, having a guy who's breathing down your neck, waiting to play. Obviously, that's how it could theoretically work in a lot of situations. But at the end of the day, if you've got that when a goalie is that guy for you, and when you have 2 goalies, and it's not like one is so incredibly superior, to the other. We're looking at 2 guys and saying they could really be starting, both of them, on almost any team in the Yeshiva League, in the Varsity League. And at the end of the day, both of them have seen lots of time this season. Now, I'm actually going to flip it around and go with the fact that, you mentioned Konovich has played down the stretch of the playoffs here, but it's not to say that, he's the one with a little bit more experience, and that's why they went with him, because last year it was Elon Lurie carrying the load on a team that was mostly juniors. And we're basically seeing that team mirror their seniors this year with a couple of extra additions from the sophomore class of last year stepping up as juniors this year. But this year it's Konovich's call. So that's something I'm going to be looking at to see if SAR can take advantage or if it's something that might change the narrative. With that being said, let's move on to Frisch. So we know one thing is for sure. For a 3 seed in the entire league, this is a team that actually had the second best record in the Yeshiva League. The only real, I don't want to say it's necessarily a downside, but the only reason they didn't end up as the 2 seed overall is because of the fact that the way the playoffs seeded out this year was that the 1 and 2 were set up to actually be the division winners in each division. So Frisch and TABC playing in the same division ended up being the cause of Frisch being the 3 seed because TABC had won 1 more game than them, going 13-1, as opposed to Frisch who went 12-2. DRS took the 2 seed despite an 11-2, 0-1 record, I believe, 11 wins on the season, bottom line, which was 1 less than Frisch, but because of a different division, and they won that division, they took the 2 seed over Frisch. Frisch proving that, it didn't really affect them, it didn't get in their minds because they came in here and beat them in the semifinals. And that was a good game in its own, but I think that, right now we're seeing them in a place that, again, we mentioned they're not familiar. They're the champions. They're the reigning champions from last year. They've been in this situation before. Similar question, or exactly the same question, actually, that I just asked you about SCR, but who is it on Frisch that we're looking at and saying they are going to lead Frisch to their second straight varsity championship? Excuse me.
It's going to start with their first-line offense. It's potentially the best pairing of offensemen in the league. You have Jakey Fight, you have Ethan Alter, and they're tremendous. They could score, and they could stick handle. But the most important part of their game is that they're fundamentally sound, and they don't do needless risks with their skills. Many times we've seen players with their kind of skill become very flashy and try to do too much. They don't do that. They use their skill to make safe plays, to make the right play. You're not going to see them making turnovers generally that lead to odd man rushes because they were trying to over stick handle. So that's important, but then they're also loaded on defense, right? They have 4 defensemen who are outstanding, where it's Bergita, it's Knapp, Ben Cerulowitz, Arya Levinson. So you're looking at a defensive group that is going to take a lot to score on them.
Yeah.
And so they're balanced. They're a balanced team.
Yeah, and that also is something I want to touch on. You mentioned the defense and obviously the offense, the first line offense, and really 2 of their most prized possessions that have come through this high school that have really just shined ever since really their freshman year. And like many of this SAR, many players on this SAR team, as we mentioned, shined as juniors last year. If you mirror this team 2 years ago when they were freshmen, or rather, if you go back 3 years when last year's varsity team was a team in junior varsity and they were a freshman-dominant team, they were playing really well as that unit as well. Same thing with most of the seniors on this Frisch team. They met up in the semifinals, and Elliot touched on it in the podcast episode, saying Frisch is looking at that game and saying, well, maybe we could have been here. And you hit the nail right on the head. Jakey Fight and Ethan Alter, I personally would mark them down as the best offensive line in the league. And you mentioned also very fundamentally sound. That's important in a setting like this because a lot of times you get nervous, and a lot of times, you start thinking about making a flashy play, or that it has to be flashy because it's the championship. It's a big, bright atmosphere, stage, and you've got the crowd on both sides, and people want to see that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, they've got the right mindset. They've proven that throughout the regular season. They've proven that in past years in playoff games. Last year in the championship, we saw them do that, and it looks like I would assume that we're going to see them really stick to that mentality tonight, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so far, it's not. So,
well, I think the most important thing for them is the fact that they have that championship experience.
Yeah.
This is almost an identical team to what they had last year, and they went out and they beat TABC last year. So you're looking at that kind of experience of having already won and knowing what to do, and you're like, okay, this is an advantage for this experienced group of players.
Yeah, and I think that also plays into the fact that SAR hasn't necessarily been to a championship setting. They got there when this class of seniors was a class of freshmen, but that was the 2020 postseason. Season got shut down because the coronavirus pandemic started spreading, and they just crowned co-champions, having TABC and SAR, which would have been the two teams playing in the championship, crowned as co-champions. But last year when it played out, Frisch ended up coming back and taking that title. And this year they're looking to repeat. And I think it's going to be very interesting. You mentioned the championship experience, which is something we didn't necessarily get to. And it's not something I really think that, SAR could be looking at. And I feel like this is, in other words, if SAR wants to really have a shot in this game, they can't let that get in their heads. A lot of times we're seeing that, a lot of times it's either the names or where they've gone or opportunities that other teams have had, and just knowing that they've been there before. If anything, they should use that as fuel, and they should use that as motivation to want to be able to take this from Frisch. Frisch is not the team here, really, that has something to prove. They've proven they're capable of winning a championship, and they've got most of that remaining team from last year here. The question is SAR going to really embrace that, and how are they going to use that towards their mindset?
So on the SAR side, there's something about being in your first championship game, and there's an extra bit of energy that you get, and a little bit of it's more nervous energy, right? And when it comes to something like that, it depends on how you use the situation. It means that you could come out early in the game and come out with a little bit more fire sometimes, and you have a little bit more jump to your game. And if you're not holding your stick too tight, the hockey term, holding your stick too tight, where you're shooting over the net and everything comes a little bit harder. But if you use that energy positively, you could actually get the jump on your opponent. And we just may have lost our color commentator with a shot to the head. But if you're able to use that nervous energy in your favor, that could become a big advantage for you. So it's something to look for SAR to see if they come out just a little bit hotter than this Frisch team, who will be feeling a little bit more secure in their position in a championship game.
And, I think that you said something, actually, that or at least I didn't touch on during my time on the JV broadcast earlier today. But you mentioned having the urge to come out with a little more fire if you are the one with something to prove. And I think that really is something that, now that I'm thinking about it, TABC probably had as a part of their game plan. I know they beat DRS early on in the regular season, but with that being said, DRS also lost that regular season matchup last year, and it was TABC who ended up losing the championship, and DRS was able to turn it around to take that last year. And when I'm looking at really the revenge or the grudge match this year in the championship that happened just a couple short hours ago, it was TABC that came out with a little more fire. If you saw from ball drop, sure, they eventually had to come back in that game down 1, but at the end of the day, you were clearly able to sense something there. I think that you're very right. It could very well be that SAR is going to have a very similar urge or a very similar mindset, that they are going to want to really use that as fire in order to really motivate themselves or to put themselves in as best a position as they possibly can going into this game, knowing they're going up against a team that's got lots of experience, especially on a big stage like this in the championship game.
Yeah. So, but I think that there's also another interesting storyline within this game, is that SAR and Frisch have played already twice this year, right? And SAR has won both games.
Yeah.
But the important thing to note about it is this is a very different SAR team now. There's a lot more confidence with this team coming into this game. In the regular season, there are other things always going on, and SAR was an up and down team in the regular season. But they've put it together here in the playoffs. They beat that very good TABC side, and they were able to get their goals, and they were able to play good defense, and they were able to really hold TABC, back, a very good team. And Frisch, who are considered their equals, we'll say, they come into this game and you're coming in as hot as they are. It makes it a very different game than what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and you're definitely right in the sense that this is a different SAR team. However, I'm looking at this Frisch team, right? Or actually, I'm going to turn it a little bit towards both teams at this point. This will sort of come back to the point that I was just about to make on Frisch. Let's talk about the coaching matchup just real quick, very briefly. We've got just over 8 minutes until introductions begin. I'm looking at this SAR team, and you mentioned they've gotten better as the season's gone along. They've really matured, and they've only been not that they've just gotten better, but that they've only gotten better. There hasn't been regression in their game. And I think ultimately you have to really acknowledge the job that Jacob Schwartzman, who's a first-time coach, along with his assistant coach, who's also a first-time coach, and Yehuda Blonder, what they've done with this team. And ultimately, what they've been tasked with, going into a gym or a rink, as SAR plays in, that they're not so familiar with, having to coach a group of guys that, or rather 2 groups of guys. They coached JV also, which had a very nice and strong season ending in the semifinals. And, having to really get acclimated to a place they really don't have any experience with weird dimensions, a lot of different ground rules compared to other gyms that you don't see in most average Yeshiva League gyms. And for them to be here right now, I know talent-wise we talked about it in, either on previous episodes of the broadcast or if we talked about it in other championship games last year when some of these players were featured, that, there was clearly a lot of talent left, all around that was really spread around. But at the end of the day, they're a big part of their success and their game and their growth. And I think that's really something that's going to, or that's been a part of why they've been getting so much better as the season has gone along, and especially here as they're red hot, especially in the playoffs, which is really something you see all the time, even in pro sports. It's not necessarily the most talented team or the team that had the best regular season that does it, but rather sometimes all you need is to be hot at the right time. And right now, SAR is hot at the right time.
Yeah, and look, you hit the nail on the head with Jacob. He's done a really good job at SAR. To be a first-time coach and have your JV team go to the semis and then have your varsity team go to the finals is really a tremendous job, especially with that JV team where it was mostly freshmen. Unlike this team where it's mostly seniors, but, he's done a really good job across the board. But one of the things I'll note, just from knowing him for a long time, we spoke before the semifinals game, and we were just and it was, he was kind of letting me know what he was looking at doing and what he saw and stuff like that. And you could see it just from talking with him that he really knows what he's talking about and really knows what he's doing. And he's really earned the respect of his players, which is really important for taking a team this far. So overall, just really a tremendous job on his side.
Right. And now if you go to Frisch's side and you start to break that down, we're very familiar with the name Yaakov Lisker, who's done an outstanding job ever since coming over here from Frisch. Spent a lot of time learning under one of the greatest coaches the league has ever seen in Mo Fuchs, who's been the director of hockey operations at TBC for a very, very long time. He's had lots of success there. He picked up on that. He's brought it over to Frisch. I don't know that in a good anywhere from 8 to 9 years, which I think is about just how long Yak has been the head coach of this Frisch varsity team, that he's really had a season where you've looked at it and said, well, what the heck happened to this team? They have been outstanding year after year after year. I think it says something about the job that he does on a year-to-year basis, and more than the fact that he says, or more than the fact that he is able to get the team to be as successful as they can be, or as they have been, rather, over the last couple of seasons, especially on a year-to-year basis. And you're seeing that it doesn't always take all of the talent in the world to do it. He finds a way to get the best out of his players. And I think that one of the key examples, as we mentioned in our preview episode on Yeshiva League Pass Faceoff, was that they have a line of juniors in Tal Glassman and Charlie Hilbert, who last year on the JV level weren't such a dominant line. But this year they've come in here and they've played against the big stars in Hornblast, Kraus, Rudman of SAR. They've played against Eitan Adler and Ryan Brandwine of TABC. We've seen them go up against Jordan Service, Rabinowitz, Isaac Mendelson, Freddie Dresner, James Orbach on Kushner.
A whole slew of really good players.
Really. And really just grind it out, play their best, be very effective, and really not be fazed by the challenge that they've embraced and ultimately really just exceeded expectations with, and have been absolutely outstanding in their own right. And something that I think, is really going to benefit them here is this is Yak's, I don't want to say, let me rephrase that. This is not his first time here. And let alone, more than the fact that even if you want to go back farther than just last year, within the last, if you don't include 2020 and 2021, because the championship game wasn't played in 20 and there was no season in 2021, but if you want to go back from, say, around 2016 to 2019 for those 3 or 4 seasons, Frisch has been in the championship game, or very close to it at the very least, talking maybe semifinals even at the very worst, for 3, if not all 4 of those years. And you bring it back to him getting back to the championship last year in the first year back since COVID. You get to him being in the championship today. And ultimately, I think it really just shows what a great job he's done and how he's clearly stepped up when it's really mattered the most in really just overall pushing the right buttons and finding the right combinations that work to get this Frisch team to have the best results as possible.
Well, Yak's been doing an amazing job at Frisch for, as you said, ages. And he has been able to use his experience working under, Mo and getting the experience that he had at TABC, and he's been able to apply it and grow it over at Frisch. And it's very difficult to have the success that he has had. Frisch was not as successful. I don't believe Frisch was as successful as he has been now. And he has basically been in the championship, winning the championship, or losing the championship, or going to the semis pretty much every single year. And it shows that he knows what he's doing. He knows what buttons to push. He knows what strategies to run. He's seen it all. He knows how to apply it. And it's an advantage coming into a game like this, where because you've seen everything, you generally know what to do with everything. But on the other side, where we're talking about going up against a first-time coach who doesn't have that experience, you also don't know how that coach is going to react to certain situations. So you as the experienced coach could get caught off guard because you're not exactly sure what Jacob's going to do on the other side. He might go into a 3-1 when you're expecting him to sit back and go into a 1-2-1. So it makes it a really interesting matchup between the very experienced and the very successful and the new guy on the block.
Yeah, and you know what I think that's very slept upon is the fact that you're right. You made the point that Jacob Schwartzman, sure, first-time head coach, definitely a first-time head coach, could be daunting, if you get to a stage like this. But I think that one of the keys to this game for SAR, obviously we mentioned, what kind of matchup we're going to see out of certain players, but one of the keys to this game that I think you're right, definitely plays to SAR's strength in many ways, could be the unpredictability of what they might do. Sure, Yak has seen this team twice during the regular season. Sure, Frisch as a whole has seen SAR during the regular season, multiple times and in different locations. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, this is the only game that matters. None of the regular season games matter at this point. None of the previous playoff games matter at this point. These are the only two teams left standing. I think we're in for a heck of a matchup. Absolutely.
It's going to be a really, really exciting matchup between the two of these. There are so many different intriguing players who are going to be able to come in and make a difference on the game. And it's going to be interesting to see basically how it plays out. Because as we saw in the JV game, just because you won in the regular season against a team doesn't mean anything. You're right. It was the JV game in the regular season was not as close as anywhere near as close as a game as it was in the championship. And that's what we're expecting out of this. We're expecting a really good game here. And, maybe not overtime, but, we're going to see a really good, at very least 3 periods of hockey.
You never know. You never know in a championship, but that's what really sets this moment up, and that's really what makes it such a great atmosphere, such a great opportunity, and just overall a great setting. With that being said, we're going to send it back on to Elliot Weiselberg and David Kolb, his color commentator. For now, I'm Josh Cass saying so long for Avi Don Berman on the pregame, as we will send you to the live introductions.
Elliot Weiselberg, David Cole back on the mic, second time today. We are here for our second of 2 championships today, JV championship earlier in Frisch, which you saw on this very network. Only difference, we are now about 2 hours away in the confines of DRS and the Greenhouse. For Frisch and SAR, you've just been listening to the pregame show with Avidan Berman and Josh Cass. Thank you so much for your insight. And we know that it was absolutely what everybody was looking for. Well, right now, as we wait for the pregame festivities to begin, the teams will exit their locker rooms. We can hear them behind us right now as we are set up in the usual DRS location for our broadcast, behind the home, what you would consider to be the home net, the near net closest to the camera. And right now, we are waiting just like you. A little bit of history between these two teams that we can run down, David. Frisch, been in the championship the last 5 years. This year will be number 5, starting out with 2 losses back in 2015, 2016. Then following it up with a win against this, with the loss against, 2016 or 2017, against this SAR Sting. The last time the Sting were in a final, a game that you and I both know well. You weren't on the mic for that one. Other familial reasons for that. We don't need to go into if you don't want to dive into that.
And that was that's the last time these two teams played each other in the finals.
Absolutely. Frisch, though, has made it back to the big game every year since. Last 2 times since that, taking away the COVID year. Theoretically, without that COVID year, Frisch has been in every championship that has been played since 2015.
Yeah, they've been right there, and the remarkable part is so many players in that school, so many talented players are not even playing floor hockey, they're playing ice hockey, and yet they're achieving year in, year out. This year we knew they were going to be a championship contender, and here they are.
Right now, SAR entering the court. SAR, the 4 seed, coming in with a record of 7-3-0-3. Those 3 overtime losses really took them out of the running for what could have been a conference banner year for them. Several injuries over the course of the year, a whole shift in approach and line changes really brought out the best of them down the stretch. New coaching staff and really just a different mindset following the opening 6 games, which included 2 losses to this Frisch team.
Right.
One in regulation and one in overtime.
Yeah, a lot of teams have a hard time getting going in the beginning of the season. They actually had, SAR, if you look at, actually, I believe, had a pretty rough schedule to start the season. One game after another, and even games they were supposed to win that maybe they didn't. It was in Ramaz with, and that's a tough environment. But the bottom line is here, somehow they have a crazy amount of talent on that roster. They've gotten it together here in the second half of the season, and they've proven they belong here, beating TABC in TABC in the semi.
SAR as a team looking for their second varsity championship. Again, we chronicled the only other one. The last time that the varsity team was in before that, 2011, a loss to the DRS Wildcats. As we take you to the pregame introductions.
Varsity Hockey Championship, featuring the SAR Steam and the Frisch Cougars. First, let's introduce the reserves for the SAR Steam. Team number 6, senior Myhsal. Number 10, junior Usher Rodman. Number 12, senior Matthew Unger. Number 17, captain senior Gabriel Hornblatt. Number 19, junior Benjamin Barrett. Number 21, senior captain Judah Hay. Number 23, junior Jake Goldman. Number 29, senior Gabriel Raskin. Number 34, senior Elon Lurie. Number 36, senior Ari Fenster. Number 68, senior Charlie Reich. Number 71, junior Sam Lukashov. Number 92, senior Nathaniel Jason. Number 93, senior Gaby Nahari. Number 94, senior captain Eitan Kraus. And number 97, senior Nunu Hartman. Now the reserves for the Frisch Cougars. Number 3, junior Adam Hayes. Number 4, junior Daniel Levy. Number 6, junior Yeshaya Perlman. Number 7, junior Tal Glassman. Number 8, senior Eitan Geisler. Number 9, junior Charlie Hilbert. Number 11, junior Jake Davidson. Number Number 19, senior alternate captain Aryeh Levinson. Number 22, senior Ben Wolf. Number 24, senior Yoni Rosenberg. Number 26, senior Yakir Sharp. Number 27, junior Jacob Weiss. Number 44, senior Alex Sharp. Number 76, senior Ben Strulowitz. Number 88, senior Ariel Popolowitz. And number 93, senior Zachary Winslow. Now the starters for the SAR Sting. Number 7, senior Gabriel Perla. Number 11, senior Joe Shakin. Number 28, senior Marcin Doffman. And number 61, senior Captain Stefan Nayowitz. The starting goalie for the Sting, senior number 33, Jedediah Tanovich. And the Sting are coached by Jacob Schwartzman. Now the starters for the Frisch Cougars. Number 30, senior Egon Godina. Number 31, senior Captain Jakey Price. Number 62, senior alternate captain Ellie Knapp. Number 91, senior captain Ethan Alter. And in goal, number 1, senior Andrew Strulowitz. The manager of the Cougars is Yair Sedek, and the coach is Jack Lister. And now I ask everyone to please rise in silence as we play the national anthem.
We are all set to go back here in the greenhouse at DRS. David, an interesting development as we saw during the introductions. Maybe a little bit of gamesmanship, maybe an actual move. Gabriel Hornblast not starting tonight's game. Joe Shakin being put into the starting roster instead.
I don't think it's news. I think it's a non-event. I just think that SAR wants to maybe get a little bit of see what's going on the floor and pop Gabriel out when they want him.
So now that we've gotten into some coaching moves, let's talk a little bit about the coaches. I know last year we discussed the disparity in experience between on the JV level with the coaches that we saw today. Let's talk a little bit about first-year coach Jacob Schwartzman and his matchup with heavily experienced Jaak Lisker.
So he's been a great player throughout his life, obviously, and now he's really making the transition into coaching. It's a great year to transition because he's got players to actually coach. And obviously something in the second half of the season there worked. I don't know what it is, but something's working, and they started reeling off wins, strong enough momentum to go into TABC to take a semifinal there, and now they're here looking to win a championship on talent and strong momentum.
So I had the opportunity to speak with Jacob a few nights ago, and the conversation we had really embodied a maturity beyond his coaching years, so to speak. So I mean, he's had the leadership up to this point. Now he is a leader among men, and tonight we're going to see whether or not he can stand up to, I would venture to say, probably the best coach of the last 5 years in the Yeshiva League.
The proof is in the pudding. They're back here every single year in the final. They have their own system. They have their own way of working Frisch. It's commendable that they keep winning without the ice hockey players, and it's working. But most of all, both teams have a tremendous amount of talent here, and that's really why this is an exciting game, unlike some of the past number of years where, well, last year was talented as well.
Absolutely.
But here we have both sides that are bringing a nice amount of talent to the game, and it's not just Frisch.
We'll see a lot of names that are familiar to us from last year, the three right in front of us, Alter, Knapp, and Fight. And then you have Andrew Srulowitz in net for Frisch, and we are about to get underway. Varsity Championship. Konovich covers it. We have a whistle 4 seconds in, although can't really hear it from where we're standing.
So it was Shakin and Dolphman, a third line starting for SAR. They have, I guess, extreme, confidence in this third line, especially here in the second half of the season.
Both players were actually key to their victory in YDE in the first round. As the ball bounces in front of net, Knapp clears it out. Nayowicz dropping back, tries to clear it, cannot get it out there. And we have a goal right away! And guess who it is? It's Shaky Fight.
Yeah, it was a big risk. It was a big risk by putting a third line out there to see if they can counter the Fight Alter line. Didn't work. And now that 25 seconds in, SAR's behind, and they're in a little bit of hole here. And they got to go back to their players. As you see, Rudman hit the floor with Hornblast.
So Fight, last year, 2 goals, 2 key goals, the second and the fourth goals. As they announce the goal.
Wow, Fight. I don't know if you saw it on that angle there, but right there, Fight sent it to Alter, and he missed the left post by about an inch.
Almost just missed making this a 2-0 game.
Absolutely, and something like this happens, you need to gather yourself real quick. You don't want a hole to build.
Notable assist there, Aiden Brigida. Brigida starting off his career in Frisch as a goalie, working his way up to the top line defense.
Yeah, you see the number 30 on his back.
That's where it comes from. It's not a normal player's number. Knapp drops back. Rudman can't get the ball. Fight moves up, throws it through a screen, doesn't hit Pater. Fight. Ball sent out. Brigida tries to send it back in. Ball is gloved by Rudman. Gets it himself, so no hand pass. Backhanded right in front of us to Hornblast. Hornblast with Knapp on him. Hornblast injured earlier on this year, able to get back in time for the game against TABC last week.
Yeah, and there you see Hornblast in the corner. He doesn't have many options, and his only option left is to send it to the point there. Fenster, got that shot on net. I would like to see Gabriel try and force himself to the middle and try and get a shot off here in the first period. Try and make himself look dangerous so that Frisch has to really acknowledge it and play him strong.
Both teams' second lines on now. Srolowitz taken away from Kraus. Ball handed down off, and Kraus sends it to the net off of Andrew Srolowitz, and the ball rolls out into the SAR zone. Geisler tries to send it up to Hilbert. Gets cleared out past Levinson, and Andrew Srolowitz jumps on it right in front of us for the whistle. 10:24 left. Frisch out to a quick 1-0 lead here in DRS.
Right, and the second line, Kraus, Gazal, really does give SAR a lot. I mean, Kraus has scored many, many goals. Gazal clearly has skill, and he can move around very, very easily.
Kraus sends the ball to the net. Now, interesting about Kraus actually started off the year on defense. One of the changes they made in order to get a little more oomph on their second line was to move Kraus up to offense.
And it's paid off. I'm not even sure what he was doing back there to begin with on defense. He is a forward, and he's a power scoring forward.
Well, I will say, having had him at the preseason tournament in Flatbush, his shot from the line is wicked, but he is deadly from in front. Got two in the corner here for SAR. Ball gets out to Kraus. Picked up by Hilbert. Hilbert sends it on net. Gloved by Konovich. Cannot hold on to it. Nayowitz comes around. Clears it underneath Levinson. Ben Srolowitz tries to send it, but it goes into the net. Geisler picks it up. Going to get a whistle for a stoppage in play.
Yeah, when the ball gets stuck in the netting there, it always causes controversy. Where's the whistle? Who, what, where? And, of course, Keith is right there in the middle of the action, trying to figure it out.
Well, they're going to do it where they need it to, and as we've said before, as long as they stay consistent, we're okay with whatever they decide. They're the refs. Fight and Dolphin loading up. Alter cannot put stick to ball in front of Konovich. Konovich covers over it.
And just note that SAR did go back to this third line, so they are, let's call it the first line tonight, I guess. They go 1, 2, 3, and then 1.
So now we are back to ones, I believe, for both ways. No, we're actually we're back on 3 for SAR. Fight knocks the ball in. Knapp. We have an offsides. Ball sent across. Brigida tries to backhand it out. Fight. Great play by Alter to keep it in his own zone so that wasn't a hand pass. Brigida tried to backhand it. Ball gets sent into the netting right in front of us, 9:20 left to play. Very heads-up play by Alter and Fight there. Definitely two of the smartest players in the league in knowing what they can do and how to use their skills properly.
Yeah, and knowing how much time you have. Alter there right at midcourt knew he had people closing in on him real quickly, and he just snapped one and he missed the net. Upper left-hand corner by a couple of inches.
Alter 3 assists in last year's championship. Absolutely an unsung hero, despite being everywhere he needed to be last year in Bet Yosef. Perla, you got Rudman hitting it. Rudman coming around the net. Rudman, a junior, one of the only juniors really taking part in today's contest for SAR. Alter behind the net. Alter surveying the scene. Hounded by Nayowitz. Comes up. Stop. Sent on net to Srolowitz, and we'll have a whistle right here in front of us. 8:50 to go, first period of play.
That's not a bad thing for SAR to get a deep zone face-off with Rudman and Hornblast on.
Once again, you are listening to exciting live coverage of Frisch and SAR for exciting live coverage of Jewish music, Israel news, and Torah segments. Tune into JM in the AM every weekday morning on the Nachum Segal Network. Hornblast backhands it. Doesn't hit pay dirt. Levinson behind the net. Got two SAR players on him. Rudman tries to send it, but Srolowitz was right by the end of the net. Ben Srolowitz gets a little crafty there. Can't get it with the stick. Smacks it with his hand. Ball sent to Konovich. Konovich covered over on top of his pad.
Yeah, very good play by Srolowitz, in trouble behind his net. and he sort of found a shortcut out of the zone and just
Get
batted
it
right
out
over
in
the net.
any way possible and deal with it after.
Well, especially when Hornblast and Rudman were right in front of them.
Glassman and Fenster on the faceoff. We're back to the second lines for both. Ben Throlowitz looking to keep it in. Gazal tries to backhand it. Good little cycle work. Kraus taken away by Levinson. Levinson will try to backhand it up the middle. We got Geisler and Hilbert. Glassman. Glassman takes a shot, blocked. Levinson. Ball sent to the middle, and a save by Andrew Srolowitz. Kraus gloves it down. Kraus behind the net, looking to come out. Kraus looking to turn. Tries to send the ball through the middle. Geisler gets in front of it. Gazal gets it back. Srolowitz. Ball kept in by Srolowitz. Geisler stripped of the ball. Levinson is going to try to backhand it out up the middle. Does so. And we have an offsides. Just a little too early in entry by Fenster. .7:36 to go. Frisch up 1-0. Goal by Jakey Fight, 25 seconds in.
Set.
Brigida keeps the ball in play.
How are
Ball goes behind the net. Fight turns, saved by Konovich. Fight keeping the ball back in the zone himself. Fight everywhere by himself. Rudman stripped of the ball by Brigida. Sends the ball out of the zone into the SAR. And Perla sends it out. Knapp sends it off the boards. Kept in by Neowitz. Ball in front. Cleared away. Brigida sends it out of play. Great defense by Knapp there, helping to keep the ball out. Fight. Ball on his forehand. Spins. Looking to curl. Goes to the board, sent it to the middle. Oh, almost an opportunity for Alter. Ball sent right to the middle. Look across. And we have a goal! Another one by Fight.
Fight was there, Knapp in front. They really are putting everything they can on net, and they turn pressure into physical pressure into a goal.
Fight gave Alter an opportunity. Alter gave Fight back an opportunity. And right now it is 2-0, 6:44 left in this first period of play.
They're shaking the wall. I can't see through that.
Alter keeps the ball in. Got a high stick by Dolphman. We're going to get a whistle.
First goal scored by number 62, alternate captain Ellie.
They gave the goal. They gave the goal to Ellie Knapp.
Captain Jakey Fight. Time of the goal at 5:27 in the second period. That's now his first fight.
Our angle couldn't tell us exactly who had the opportunity to put that in. Fight, moving up with the ball. Knapp gets it out. Alter. So, Fight with the goal, Knapp with the goal. Two of the key seniors for this Frisch team. 6:20 to go here in the period. We'll get the face-off high in the Frisch zone. Second lines for both teams. Geisler. Third line, for SAR. Hilbert trying to come around. Hilbert does come around. Hilbert tries to send it through the middle. Cannot connect as good defense being played there. Dolphman and Srolowitz right in front of us. Ben Srolowitz tries to clear it out. Kept in at the line. Sent backhand to the net. Srolowitz diving right on top of it. So here we are, 5:40 left. Good pressure put on by Hain and the second line defense for the SAR squad. Andrew Swirlowitz in net, doing well for Frisch. Ball goes in the corner. 2 on. Gazal trying to backhand it to the middle. Kraus looking for position. Gazal's got 2 players on him. Tries to backhand it. Coming around, trying to come around to his forehand. Fakes out Levinson, brings it around. Levinson takes it away from him, sends it to the net. Oh, Konovich could not handle that. Finally takes care at 5:14 to go. But that looked very, very dangerous. Once again, you are listening to the Yeshiva Sports Network's broadcast and watching. There we go. They corrected the goal. I knew what I was looking at. Jakey Fight getting his second goal. I may have one of the worst vantage points in this gym, but I saw that one. Levinson tries to send the ball out. Kept in the zone. Swirlowitz tries to backhand it. Hits the rafters, but it keeps going. So play doesn't stop. Swirlowitz paddles it up. Kraus coming around, trying to put it in. Cannot get there. Levinson. As Kraus. Ooh. That was a little sketchy. Hilbert tries to backhand it. Neowitz clearing it away safely. Ball goes behind the Frisch net. Ben Swirlowitz backhands it. Cannot get it out. Hilbert helps him out. Guys are looking to make a run. Knapp coming on the floor for Frisch. Kraus taking off for SAR. Rudman coming on to replace him. Hilbert moving up. Sends the ball to the net. Doesn't get there. Knapp keeps it in. Geisler sends it to the net. Oh, what a save by Konovich, getting his blocker up there. Stick now around the court. Doesn't know where it is. Swirlowitz just leaves it go. Smart play with the goalie's stick down on the ground, but the goalie was able to retrieve it, Konovich. Knapp comes around the net. Frisch trying to make a couple of more changes now. Hain sends the ball back to Rudman. Rudman tried to go 5-hole with that shot, not getting there. Ball goes across. Alter picking it up, moving it up with it. Tries to send it out. Hain keeps it in. Brigida has to take a step back. Doesn't get there. Fenster battling in the corner. Fight comes around. And we got a goal! Was that Alter that put that one? I believe Alter came behind and put that one in. And we have a 3-0 contest with 3:34 left. First period of play.
Yeah,
the onslaught.
I was about to say that SAR really needs a break of some sort, whether it's a penalty or anything, but the play kept, resorting back into their defensive end, and it's hard to gain a break when the play is there the whole time.
And it's this one line that has the mismatch. This line has all 3 goals. It is, and there we have a timeout. It's maybe a couple of seconds too late, though. Look, SAR had a 3-0 lead on TABC going into the third period. TABC almost came back. But this is a different ball game with a different team, and it's way early for that.
It's harder on the varsity level, obviously, to dig out of anything. But the other team has loaded up their first line. You know it. You have to focus on really choking that first line. You can't let Fight and Alter dominate a game like this. Less than 9 minutes in, it's 3-0. They have it all.
2 goals again by Jakey Fight. Matching last year already for him. Alter now getting in on the action. What he didn't do last year, not getting on the goal scoring sheet, but being a big factor behind the scenes, especially with his passes to Sam Weinberger and Will Trump to set up spectacular goals. And now getting on the scoreboard himself, really putting a stamp on this first period in Frisch's favor.
And they're really taking everything they can and really funneling it towards the net. It's not. There are many, many high skill plays, but the high skill plays aren't really what's changing it from 1-0 to 2-0, 3-0. It's really hard work going to the net and looking for loose balls and putting them in.
Frisch is really approaching this like a boxing match. They know they're going to get hit. They know they're going to have to take punches, but they keep coming right back with their hook, and they don't mind it because they know they have probably the better line on the court or the more cohesive line on the court, and they're willing to just stick to their game plan.
Well, they do, and when you have the best, line in the game, offensive line, and you keep, rolling it out, and the other team isn't really focusing on trying to lock it down, what are you going to do?
Fight wins it forward, tries to get it himself. Nayowitz comes away with it. Alter tries to knock him back to fight. Nayowitz gets it, tries to get it to Rudman. Still kept shot not on net. Brigida hounded by 2 SAR players. Rudman coming around. Rudman tries to send it, and we got a lot of contact in the middle, and we got a goal. Wow!
That was
What
a great shot, and I am
What a
sure
shot.
that was in. If there's any question in this gym, I'm sure that was a goal.
Oh my God! Yes, that was I saw that was a laser.
I am 100% sure.
Stefan Nayowitz with a blast from the point,
Yeah, I am.
catching Srolowitz above his glove. So now a little bit of life back to SAR. 3-1 with 3:11 to go. Getting on the board has got to be at least a saving grace for them before this period ends.
And that's not a break. That's just that's a nice goal that got them back into the game, and that's the most
Nayowitz
important
loading
thing.
up from far, trying again.
Hornblast just got away with a high stick. He just clipped a Frisch player.
Refs have been letting it go a little bit tonight on both sides. Play in the middle, play in the corner. They're letting the kids play this one out. Knapp coming around the net. Sends the ball into the far corner. Nayowitz and Alter. Fight comes around. Oh, just missed the hat trick.
Incredible, that fight's still spinning with the ball on his forehand in the slot area.
Now, there's nobody there to really take it away from him or to at least come down and put a stick on him.
Yeah, that's an in-game adjustment they must make, like
And
immediately.
we're going to have a penalty here. Hornblast just got away with the hold also on that.
Yeah, and there you make your breaks there. You saw SAR possess the ball on the offensive end, and things can happen when when they're grinding it out.
We're going to have our first penalty of the game. It's going to go to Aiden Brigida. Brigida will leave for interference.
And you're going to see a power play specialist in Unger coming on the court, number 12.
Oh, yes.
This will be his first time playing today.
You have Hornblast and Unger as the offense, Kraus and Hain as the defense. And we have a timeout. Frisch wants to give their players a little bit of rest, considering that most of their players are the same as
Maybe
the line that was just on.
maybe they're looking to just stem the tide here and just hold on and see what's going on.
3-1, 2-14. Nayowitz cutting into the 3-goal lead, giving SAR a little bit of momentum. Now a power play to try to bring it back within one.
Yeah, and that's what happens when there's a skill versus skill game. We can have these ebbs and flows. The question is, can SAR make these adjustments while they're making the comeback, or is it something they're going to take one step forward and then maybe two back?
It's going to be a very interesting situation over the next minute and a half to see exactly how both teams react. This could be a momentum shifter in either direction now, and a good kill definitely swings it back into Frisch's favor. SAR goal here, and the scoreboard reads 3-2 before the first intermission, and they're right back in this.
Yeah. And they have the skill here to convert on the power play. So let's see what happens.
Looks like it's going to be Alter chasing with Knapp and Srolowitz. Good part about this, all three players have played defense, whereas Knapp and Alter have both played offense. So either of them can run out and be a chase if you're not careful. You're not looking in the right direction. You can find yourself looking at the wrong person, picking the ball off your stick. Ball goes in the corner. Kraus getting hounded by Ben Srolowitz. Srolowitz takes it away, sends it out of the zone. Hain sends it across to Hornblast. Hornblast down to Hain. Up, tries and go through the middle. Knapp. As Hornblast comes away with it. Knapp has Unger on him. Knapp coming around the net. Ball sent out of the zone. Hain back there. Kept that one in. Konovich to Hain. Ball sent by Kraus to the net and out of play. We'll have a face-off with 1:33 left, about 40 seconds into the power play. Almost halfway there. Good opportunities, but Frisch defense really clamping down on them in the corners.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they need to be they need to be focused on accomplishing something on the power play. They can't just take it and move the ball around like that. That's a nice play, but Kraus has to be ready on that weak side.
Now they look like they're falling back into the old SAR power play system with the cheating on the weak side.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely
not. Hornblast is wide open.
There you go, on the weak side. Unger gets it to Hornblast. Hornblast gets the ball, taken off his stick by Alter. Alter taking up the court on a breakaway. Oh, saved by Konovich. Srolowitz sends it as we are about 10-15 seconds left to the end of this power play. Alter tries to pick the ball up. Srolowitz loads up on net.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Neowitz at the point there at the end there.
Srolowitz will glove it, and we are about a second away from this penalty being over. And right now the better opportunity in the shot on net has come from Alter. Hornblast had an opportunity on the far side, missed the net.
Sure, but you know what? SAR did show flashes. They were able to set up late. You saw things starting to open up. They're definitely calming down a little bit as a team.
Penalty's over. Knapp. Levinson. So fighting Geisler on with Levinson and Knapp on defense to finish off this period. Ball comes out. Geisler going back in. Geisler gets the ball taken from him. Fenster sends it in the zone. Dolphman tries to send it up to the half boards. Dolphman and Levinson.
Fenster without a sneaker.
Blown tire, we call it. Ball gets sent into the netting behind the goal. 5 seconds left. Ball comes out. And a whistle. Great block.
0.4 left.
Yeah. Great block by Eitan Geisler of a Neowitz shot. Don't want to let him get another blast off on net. 0.4 seconds left. They'll drop this ball, and that'll pretty much be the end of the period. And there we go. The end of the first period. 3-1 Frisch. We will come to you with the intermission report following that announcement of Marv in the lunchroom.
Welcome back to the MYHSAL Varsity Hockey Championship between SAR and Frisch. I'm Josh Cass, once again joined by Avidan Berman. We're here in the first intermission report to so far go over and break down what's gone down so far in this first period. Avidan, what are your thoughts so far in this game?
So far, it has slowly gone from being a little bit heavily favored towards Frisch, and it's moved towards being an even game now. SAR came out flat-footed, they got caught up in the moment a little bit. They let up 3 goals, but then they were able to respond. And they, after a good timeout by Jacob Schwartzman, get everyone back in. They immediately respond with a goal, which is exactly what you need out of a timeout like that.
Yeah.
So, tough start, but good finish.
Yeah, and we were thinking about it, and I'm sure a lot of viewers were probably thinking about, wow, Frisch up 3 goals. One coming a little bit later than the others, but 2 quick goals. So, for all intents and purposes, we'll say it's a 2-goal lead right now. This had the potential to get really ugly and fast. In just the first period alone, Frisch scored 3 goals, which was as many goals as the entire JV championship had in all of the game today. So, we're looking at this game right now and obviously saying it's definitely taking a turn somewhere because of the fact that what was once a 3-goal Frisch lead with still over 3.5 minutes to go in the first period right now is a 2-goal game with SAR starting to take control of momentum a little bit. And I think right now you called it, Jacob Schwartzman timeout. I looked at you and I said timeout SAR if you're taking if you're SAR because of that 3-goal lead as quickly as they got it. And happens, and look at that right away. They get the goal, they draw a penalty, get a power play, create some opportunities. They got to feel like they are right back in this game right now.
Yeah, you can't when you're losing in a championship game, you can't be focused on anything other than what you have to do in the next period, and you can't get caught up in being down 2 goals. You're like, all right, I just got to get the next goal, and then after I get the next goal, we get the next goal again. But that has to be the mindset. You got to do it play by play. You can't get caught up in trying to catch up with too many goals. And they did a good job there on what was a really good shot from Stefan Neowitz. Just picked the top corner on what was it on basically a play that came around from Hornblass.
Yeah.
And he just almost one-timed it just right into the top corner. It was a great goal.
Yeah, and I don't think Frisch is going to be expecting that, honestly, in this game because of the fact that SCR plays in a rink where you get those quick bounces, you get those quick shots all the time. But that's because that rink is so incredibly compact compared to such a massive court like here in DRS, or like Frisch might be used to playing in something that they've seen them do throughout the regular season in 2 games facing them. But with that being said, sometimes you've got to change your game plan. And very smart play by Neowitz to just rip that shot right away. Didn't try to settle it, just walked right into it, put everything he had, picked the top right corner over Andrew Strolowitz, and really just, got the if you heard it on the live stream, SAR's side of the gym was dead silent. There was nothing. It was Frisch's side rocking this building after a 3-goal lead and really putting SAR on the ropes, and then all of a sudden, SCR right back in the game. Their fan base comes to life. They draw the penalty. They get the opportunities on the power play. Don't score, but they've got momentum heading into the second period and really need it after what's happened. We're talking about how they're doing, how they seem to be getting themselves back in the game, but it is nowhere near over yet in the sense that, sure, I guess you could say the same thing for Frisch, but SAR still has to, come back from these 2 goals. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Let me ask you really quick about the power play. Only 1 penalty we've seen in this game so far, so clearly teams are trying to stay as disciplined as possible. And I really think that, that's something we didn't exactly touch on the pregame because we don't know how often penalties are going to come around. With that being said, SAR seems to really be confident in being able to work their power play the way that they've been able to do it all season long. They generally like to run 3 across and 1 at the point. And you see that Gabe Hornblass is on the opposite end of Eitan Kraus with the righty and the lefty shots being there for the one-timer. He missed an open net, maybe a little bit of a rush pass, or maybe just didn't get all of it. My question to you is, do you think that this is something Frisch could get used to being that they play a similar style, not exactly mirroring the 3 down low, 1 at the top of the diamond, which is still very similar in that regard? Do you think that maybe Frisch has to realize that maybe they could defend this power play the same way they're used to practicing it against their very own?
Yeah, I think so. I think SAR's done a good job of basically applying what they do in a rink over to into a box gym, as we'll call it. And the one thing is that it's a risk when you're going into a 3-1 on as was seen on that power play where Ethan Alter was able to go out and get a really good opportunity on the shorthanded side. But At the same time, SAR had their opportunities. Hornblast, if he's able to just get his shoulders a little bit more turn on that really, really hard pass, it's in the back of the net. So you're looking at it. You're looking at something, and you're saying, the power play for SAR at the very least, it's applying over, and Frisch, where it's a very similar dimension to DRS. For them, they feel at home when they're penalty killing here. So for them, this is nothing new.
Yeah, and I think that's something we probably could have touched on in the pregame, but also not something that's so incredibly, I don't want to say meaningful in the sense, obviously, the setting of the game and where this is being played has a huge impact, I'm sure, on the way that these teams like to play, the speed they like to use, the speed they like to incorporate, the space they like to work with, and really just the amount of space they have to display the skill that they have when they have it. But with that being said, I think that something that we didn't mention is the fact that you mentioned Frisch just being comfortable on the penalty kill. How about it just in the gym overall? It seems like they're having less of a hard time adjusting to the bounces, and sometimes the ball hits the netting. You see that a lot in other gyms. Not going to go over it. Just that many gyms have it with the netting that the ball gets stuck sometimes, used to popping, or at least pops back down and just kind of slows up. But it seems like they're using that to their advantage. If you see SAR, they're not really getting many of their clears in the air, or they're trying to use the boards a lot more. And sometimes that bounce off the boards whenever you try and send it deep, even if you hit in the middle of the gym, is going to roll all the way down. We saw them the first half of the first period where Frisch was winning races behind the net because of the fact that SAR couldn't really hit their open men and wasn't really getting much air on their clears, not a lot of height, and allowing their forecheckers to run under them and really just get there with the time. So I'm going to be interested. I think it's going to be interesting to see if they can adjust to that and maybe try to, see if maybe James Schwartzman decides to kind of reshape the way they want to go about getting the ball out of their zone and forechecking.
I'm also interested to see how is SAR uses what they now have as the hard back wall. Because what they're used to in SAR is having hard walls on both sides behind the net, and they use that in their strategy to make passes and to get things done. So you actually might see their offense flow a little bit better for the next period and a half using that, whereas here we have a netting high, and we have soft boards behind. So you're not getting the same bounces, even though they were able to use it to their advantage to score their first goal. But they might be able to get that off more now with that hard wall.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that Frisch has to look out for. However, I wouldn't put it past them. They have a very similar setting in their gym where they start chasing towards the direction, and they chase for the last half of the third period in the direction going towards the locker rooms. That wall's entirely solid, no boards back there. So it's going to be very interesting. I think it's something you can adapt to defensively, but as you mentioned, this is SAR's chance to use that to their advantage. They're the ones that need 2 goals to get back in this game. They're the ones that are, really in the hole right now, and I think that, this is clearly not going to be as ugly as maybe one could have thought it could have been within the first just over 8 minutes of this game. With that being said, we're going to send it back to Elliot Weiselberg and David Kolb for the call on the second period. We'll be back after the second period for the second intermission report. Signing off again.
Guys, please make your way in to your seats so the players can come in as well.
Once again, thank you to Avidan Berman, Josh Cass for our intermission report. We're back for you here for the start of the second period. SAR already out, Frisch about to make its way out. Once again, you are listening to the exciting live coverage of SAR and Frisch. For exciting live coverage of Jewish music, Israel news, and Torah segments, tune in to JM in the AM every weekday morning on the Nachum Segal Network. You are watching the Varsity Championship, the nightcap of the Championship Sunday matchups, right here at DRS on the Yeshiva Sports Network. Again, Frisch taking a 3-1 lead in the first period. 2 goals by Jakey Fight, including one literally off the opening face-off 25 seconds in. Frisch scoring 3 straight. SAR, Stefan Newitz able to recover with one towards the end of the period.
Yeah, and really, I see Stefan Newitz as a real key or game breaker. He's the one that really needs to open this up or keep opening it up. Every time he has it, he has the ability to go from end to end. Not only, creating opportunities for himself, but for his teammates. Once a defenseman is in the offensive zone, he's got 2 guys to pass to. It's not like a forward coming in who has only one.
it's going to keep Frisch honest, and I think that's the beauty of the way Nayowitz is playing. With Nayowitz now being able to open up from the point, it'll take the pressure off of the offense down low, possibly forcing Frisch to keep one more player at the line in order to cover and not be keyed so much on the Hornblasses and the Rudmans.
Correct.
Of the first line.
Movement is the key. I mean, when Hornblast has it in the corner, Nayowitz at the point should be calling for it, even if he doesn't want it. You know, just so the defender can peel off of Hornblast a little bit of decoy, right? The defender will peel. He's going to have to honor the defenseman at the line then. But I don't see that happening yet. You know, Hornblast had a nice pass back to Fenster, but, you know, it's traffic. But they're going to have to create either shooting, passing lanes.
Until they get that other Frisch player out of the middle of the floor, in the paint area, they're not going to open up any lanes for their offense to really do much. So they're going to have to draw him out some way, one way or another.
Right. So it could come out, you know, from Gabriel spinning out from the corner. It could be him dipping low. But it's going to, you know, he's going to have to – it's not only Hornblast, but it's Krause. It's all of them. They're really going to have to amp it up this period and try and get things on net, just like Frisch was doing.
Second period underway. SAR white jerseys nearest to us on their visitor side. Frisch, they're black and red on the far side with the wall behind them. Again, the differences on the two sides, you have the big wall in the back there with big bounces, and you have the net right in front of us on the SAR side where the ball somewhat dies off of it when it hits. So this is the point where SAR would want to take advantage of their shots and the rebounds that it creates.
Correct. I mean, this period also, it's just, you get trapped sometimes. It's the second period, your bench is on the far end. And, you know,
far end, for those that can't see the benches from the...
Right, well, it's on the far end for both teams now. So no matter what, you can really trap a team in this period. At the end of a shift, you could catch defensemen tired on the court. So the second period is always, and the beginning of the third is always, you know, fun to watch.
Hornblast playing with it at the line, loses the ball. Ball gloved in, and Fight touches it for a hand pass. Face-off will come back high into the Frisch zone, 11:32. 28 seconds gone in this second period of play.
It'll also be interesting to see what SAR does with that Dolfman-Schenken line here in the third period, or whether they tighten up and just play Krause, Gazal, and Hornblast-Rudman.
Yeah, maybe it's best for them to just go straight up with them and allow your best to play their best.
Yeah, I would just roll those two lines for now.
Brigida moving up with it. Hands it off to Alter. Tipped back out by Hain. Goes on net and covered by Andrew Strolowitz.
Yeah, deep faceoffs aren't bad for SAR either here. You know, especially with Nayowitz right behind, you know, Rudman on this faceoff and Hornblast with his lefty stick ready to clean up.
You have Hornblast back a little with him also. So the truth is there are two options there if you're not careful. Ball gets sent down into the quarter. Rudman picks it up, tries to clear it through the middle, doesn't get there. Alter tries to bring it up the court. Hornblast and Rudman down low by the posts. Uses his hand to send that through. Can't get connect. Alter bounces off a leg. Fight. Sends the ball to Brigida, who just misses over the net.
And that's a tremendous pinch by Brigida coming out of nowhere. It's like a Scud missile coming right down the middle. You don't expect it. But that's the right way to play to create offense.
Fight. Gets caught by Nayowitz. And Brigida, another solid play, this time on the defensive end, making sure that Rudman couldn't get through with the ball. Alter knocks the ball down, but a whistle blows. 10:28 to go, second period of play.
Yeah, the players here, look at Alter now with Keith Ryan. Alter just doesn't understand how, you know, they don't have the nuances like DRS players do, you know, taking that ball off the netting.
Well, they don't have netting, as we saw earlier today, and that might have made the game a little bit faster than it was. Thankfully, this game has gone, I'd say decently fast. Haven't been as many whistles except for the goalie coverages. So I'd say this is actually a decently paced contest as opposed to this.
Considering we had 4 goals already, too.
Oh, yeah. Ball bounces into the Frisch corner. 2 Frisch players. Ball gets sent into the SAR zone. Hilbert bodied off by Fenster. Now you got 2 players there. Hilbert gets the ball back, comes around the net, tries to spin, doesn't get there, hounded by Gazal. Hilbert. Fenster. Kane. I'm going to get a penalty on Fenster for interference.
Yeah, that's just uncalled for. I mean, it's a good penalty call. Fenster shouldn't be that aggressive.
The ball wasn't even there. Like,
No.
if the ball's there, maybe, but no ball.
Yeah, but even so, they're both standing still there. Apply your body, to the opposing player and not slam them into a wall.
Look, the refs have been pretty good about letting most things go tonight. They're doing it knowingly. It's not as if they're missing calls. They're letting the kids play. But don't do something dumb with the ball not
Correct.
near you.
Yeah, don't go past that line, as they say.
10:04 left to go. Minute and a half. Frisch will get its power play line out.
Now we got a penalty killer. Frisch is on for the first time tonight. He's killing it at the top for SAR.
Last year, the power play, a main factor in Frisch being able to take the victory. Srilowitz replacing Alter's spot. Alter taking over for Weinberger on the other side. Fight still in front of the net. Nayowitz sends the ball down.
Great job by Nayowitz, like one touch and boom, out.
Ball taken away by Alter. Alter moves up. Alter hounded by two SAR players. Ball sent across, Knapp. Ball pulled back.
They got a penalty coming up, I believe.
No, it's offside.
Oh, it's offside, okay.
Ben Srilowitz clears the ball down. Gloved by Nayowitz, but kept in by Knapp. Sent across. Srilowitz winds up. Blocked and deflected out of play.
Yeah, and Srilowitz, we've seen him this year, drill a couple of those home. He's got a howitzer, as they call it back there.
9:23 to go in this second period of play. Have about, I would say we're about halfway through the power play. Hain facing off with Fight. Srilowitz takes the ball around. Srilowitz sends it to Alter. Alter sends the ball to the net. Konovich, Fight on the doorstep. Taken away from him by Nayowitz. Comes back to Fight. Nayowitz lifting the stick and getting the ball out of the zone. Knapp moves up with it. Srilowitz tries to send it to a cutting Fight. Doesn't get it to him. Just a little too lax on the pace on the ball. Two Frisch players, one SAR player in the corner. And we are just about done. We have about another 11 seconds to go in the penalty. 8:45 left to go, second period of play. Pace of the game has, the goalies have sort of settled in. Konovich definitely settled in after a pretty rough early first period.
They're not bringing it the same way they did in that first period, but definitely everybody settled in this game. But
SAR doing a great job choking off the middle. Kraus tries to send the ball out of play, doesn't get out of the zone, doesn't get there. Knapp turns around, sends it to the net, saved by Konovich. Alter sends it to the middle to Fight, hit off his stick. Alter, and then 4 back now. Alter knowing that it's full, sends the ball to the net. Fight sends the ball to Konovich. Konovich on top of it. Oh, wow. Whistle, no. Oh, wow. Ball just rolling there, and a whistle.
yeah, that never went in. I don't know what the gripes are.
No, it wasn't a goal.
I think Alter has his hands on his head just saying, ooh, that was close.
Yeah, the ball was, I think it's more that the ball was loose and they blew the whistle.
Right.
But that's what happens, when there's somebody's in front of the net. 8:22 to go. Power plays over. Both teams at full strength now. Frisch getting good opportunities, but SAR up to the task. Fenster. Gloved back in, and we're going to get a hand pass. Could also get an offsides, but it's going to be a hand pass. Ironically, if that was an offsides, the referees technically could call intentional. But if they're going to call a hand pass on it, they have no option
Yeah,
for that.
there's one rule I hate. Sorry.
I know, we discussed it last year too.
No neutral zone in this league, and I just think a hand pass out of the defensive zone should be allowed, no matter what.
Frisch brings it up. Geisler. Oh, runs into Glassman. Glassman and Fenster going at each other. And they're going to give the penalty to to Glassman.
Fenster.
Fenster too, or
No,
only
no,
Fenster?
it looks like only Fenster.
Oh. Looked like they blew the whistle when Frisch touched the ball. Fenster going back to the box
He
again.
called a hold on Fenster.
Oh, so it was for what happened over here.
It was here. They were still tied up. It was on the right side of the goal.
Happened right in front of you. 7:58 left to go in the second period of play. This is the problem with our vantage point. Sometimes you can't see when the play continues down the other end of the court.
Yeah, I don't know about that call. I think Fenster really was trying to hold up there, and
Again, there was enough going on this side, as opposed to getting to your side, that I think that it was just enough's enough, guys.
I thought both were going to go.
Me too.
I didn't think it would result in a Frisch foul play, but here we are.
Glassman relieved Fenster of his stick at some point, and I thought that could have been a penalty. Payne matching up with Fight, 7:55 to go. Ball gets sent back to the line. Knapp. Srolowitz to Knapp. Srolowitz misses the net. Alter spreads it out. Fight in front of the goalie. Alter sends it across to Srolowitz. Oh, great save by Konovich. How we saw that through Fight, I have no idea. Nayowitz getting his stick in the way, keeping the ball from going to the net. Knapp sends it across to Srolowitz. Srolowitz tries to send it across. Alter keeping the ball in the zone. Alter sends it across to Knapp, out of the zone. Aaron pass. Knapp gets it to Alter. Alter enters the zone. Alter tries to send it down low. Doesn't get to anybody. Srolowitz picks it up. Ben Srolowitz picks it up. Srolowitz rolling his way up the boards. Knapp tries to send the ball to the net. It's saved.
I think that one got him in the mask.
It did. Oh, and the Keith referee goes down also. Srolowitz sends the ball. Gets blocked by TABC. I'm thinking of this earlier. Thinking of the earlier game. SAR. Ben Srolowitz comes away with the ball. Ball out of the zone and an offside. 6:46 to go. Second period of
That was
play.
a nice break. Reich, who's been killing, was dead tired.
Oh, yeah.
Penalty time expired 6:28. 6:28 of the second period.
Have 18 seconds left in this penalty.
I mean, Hayne is dead tired also, but he's staying on. Last time, they put Kraus on defense to finish off the penalty, but not here.
Alter moves up with it. Alter. Knapp. Srolowitz. Srolowitz tries to send it. Sends it a little high. Fight. Sends it to Alter. Alter to Fight. Tries to jam it home, and Konovich covers up for it.
That's a great play between Alter and Fight. Alter sends it down low to Fight, who just really pivots at the net. Maybe he scores, maybe he doesn't, but he's got guys on the weak side for a rebound. But Konovich did a good job holding on.
Power play is over, so the second in a row killed off by SAR. Fantastic work down low, making sure no real opportunities in the middle, keeping everything to the wall.
And if you look carefully, we got Hornblast and Kraus for the first time together tonight.
Hornblast, Kraus, Nayowitz, and Fenster. Fenster being given another opportunity out there to make good after the two penalties. No harm, no foul, but now he's got to make up for it. Hornblast in the corner. Geisler loses the ball. Nayowitz. Ball gets blocked out of the zone. Geisler almost had an opportunity there. Kraus turns and Burns sends it to the middle. Oh, Srolowitz did not see that.
Yeah, it's not easy to see those turnaround, wristers or snappers.
Kraus tried to send it all the way down. Ball down to Konovich. Konovich covers up. 5:35 left to go, second period. Action definitely coming hot and heavy.
I will tell you, you just saw what just happened. Konovich stopped it. If I'm SAR, I would have somehow signaled to Konovich to give it up. Frisch was dead tired. They have the forward change. They have their second line out. I would have said, let it go. Let's go. But instead, you got a deep face-off now right in front of him.
It's kind of hard to do that when you're on the opposite side. So this is the perils of the
this
second
is something
period.
you prep all week for a championship game. You prep for every situation possible. And you have to take advantage of everything given to you.
Dolphman turning. Misses the net. Srulowitz skips it out of the zone. Sent back. Konovich makes the save. Hain to Dolphman. Dolphman doesn't get it past Srulowitz. Ball hit off Ben Srulowitz, but Andrew Srulowitz right there to cover it to make sure it doesn't get any further and towards the net.
Yeah, and we have a deep face. So let's see if the third line for SAR stays out or if they put out any of the first 2 line members.
You're gonna stay the same.
Yep.
Thank you again to our sponsors, Nachum Siegel Network, sponsors of this year's JV and varsity hockey broadcasts. Ball comes out of the zone. Glassman and hounding Fenster. Fenster moving up with it. Got 2 players on. You got a 2-and-2 matchup here. It's Dolphman, Fenster, Glassman, and Srulowitz all taking hacks at the ball. We got a whistle. Ball will stay deep in the Frisch zone. 3-1 Frisch. More than halfway through the contest.
Hornblast, Rudman on.
Hornblast trying to get around to block off Alter. Not Alter, apologies, Levinson. 19 and 91. Oh, there you go. Rudman wide open on the opposite side. Pass across. Srulowitz had no chance at that.
Man, it's matchups. After that long shift that Frisch was on, they still had their second line D on for some reason. And it was taken advantage of really well just now. And Rudman deposited, what was there. Look at the guys coming off right now. It's a little surprising what just happened, and now we have a 1-goal game with plenty of time left.
4:37 left in the second period. Asher Rudman, Jr.
Asher Rudman, assisted by number 21.
Making sure the fans know.
Oh, yeah. Taking a bow.
Yeah, biggest goal of his life. Why not?
Nayowitz fight. Ball sent to the middle, saved by Konovich. Rudman picks up the ball, flips it into the corner himself. Rudman trying to come around. Sends the ball, doesn't get to the middle. Knapp. Ball out into the SAR zone. Alter sends him out to fight. Saved by Nayowitz, actually getting in there on him. Fight. To Alter. Nayowitz doesn't get it past Knapp. Alter. Nayowitz. Ball kept in. Fight. Hornblast now with it. Moved up by Knapp. Fight. Coming back. Rudman. Sent the ball and it's in! And we have a tie game!
Just incredible. I mean, that just shows you shoot. You shoot. It's hockey, you shoot. I mean, you see so many guys just take the ball, look up, try and send it back blindly to the middle. You shoot. He did that on the left side there, and he just did it on the right side. We're tied up because of Rudman.
Asher Rudman saying, I may be a junior, but I belong here. Rudman playing on varsity last year as a sophomore, playing heavy minutes as a sophomore, showing why he belongs. Now contest knotted, 3 apiece, and we have a ball game.
So now you're SAR's coach. You look at the game. You've taken Frisch's best punches. You see everything they have, and from my eyes, it's the first line, and that's it. So every time Fight and Alter on, I'd be focusing on just locking them down now, and that's it. And then worry about the rest. Let the other forwards, whoever it may be.
Keep the matchup simple. Their best, your best. And
correct.
I mean, I think the harder option for them is that they don't have the second change, so they have to try to keep it. But as we mentioned earlier today, make a change. Use your shifts in the middle of
change on the fly.
Change
right.
on the fly.
Figure out a way.
I think you said that last year, actually. Fight trying to power his way to the middle. Alter.
Great play by Nayowitz, canceling out Fight's stick there in the crease.
Fight and Fenster. Fenster getting away with kicking the ball out of play a little bit. Frisch bench moving a little bit, but Fenster certainly helping it out. 3:42 to go. Tie ball game.
If you're like
3-3.
really focused, if you're SAR, every time Frisch is in the offensive zone, I bring back the point man. If they're going to beat you, let that be the point man that beat you on a shot. Don't let it be fight or alter down low anymore. Like, that should be over.
Alter tries to send to the middle. Fight being nullified. Ball goes into the corner. Alter comes around with it behind the net. Alter tries to flip it over the net to himself. Doesn't get there. 4 SAR players crowding the middle. Ghazal sends the ball across. Knapp moving up with it. Alter hounded by 2 SAR players. Fight. Nayowitz coming around the net with it. Ball goes out of the zone. Brigida with Kraus. Kraus coming around the net. Tries to put it in. Doesn't get there. Wow, what a play by
Holy
by
smokes,
Smolowitz.
was that? Well, it was by both. By Kraus, by just putting it in that spot.
Yeah.
And Strulowitz keeping it out of the net.
Yeah, that was destined for the back of the net. Smolowitz just got an appendage out there. Fenster passes the ball up to Dolfman. Ball comes back. Alter between the legs. Sends the ball to the net. Saved by Konovich. Ball goes up. Hits the basketball hoop. And we'll get a whistle, 2:34.
Right, so that's a great opportunity by Frisch there, and SAR cannot allow a 2-on-1. I mean, forget about 2-on-2s being to Frisch's advantage. A 2-on-1 is an extreme circumstance that they can't allow the rest of the game.
Right now we got Frisch's second line on. SAR looks like their first line is it Perla is on. Perla has been sort of moved down a bit with Joe Shakin,
He's on with Hain.
Dolphman, and Hain. So going third line defense and Perla down with Hain to create a different line than what we've seen today. Geiser sends the ball to the net. Geiser gets the ball back, sends to Levinson. Great pass behind the back. SAR has the ball in the zone. Shot on net, saved by Strulowitz. Konovich sending the ball behind his net. Perla trying to come around with it, gets it away. Strulowitz keeps it in. Hilbert. Geisler now in the corner. Geisler tries to turn. Ball poked through the middle and he got a whistle. Geisler with a little poke trying to get it right in front of the net. Konovich there for the stop.
Yeah, that's a shift inside the SAR zone. It's a little scary, but they had their depth players on there, so that can happen when you have those guys on all collectively together.
All right, now 2:01 left to go. Second period of play. 3-3 ball game. Asher Rudman right now bringing the game back to even as we may have a malfunction with the boards. Looking to fix it. Hain will match up with Hilbert. Ball sent to the line. Strulowitz.
And you have Hornblass and Rudman right back out there.
Ball sent to the net. Oh, Geisler off his foot. Misses the net. Ball kept in by Strulowitz. Great job at the line, Hilbert. Geisler sends it back. Shot to the net. Saved by Konovich. Great shot by Levinson. Rudman to Perla. Hornblast. Levinson. Hornblast coming back to the middle. Ball rolls off his stick. Rudman. Rudman gets taken down by Strulowitz.
That was Hornblast.
Sorry,
I didn't see. It more looked like Gabriel Hornblast was stopping short, and he just
he just bumped into him. Okay.
No, not yeah. It was like not even incidental, but he stopped short.
He just bumped into him. It just stopped short and just a collision. I hear.
Almost like tipping the waiter. And I think Gabriel knew it. He gave he gave a high five or a low five.
Look, these kids all know each other. They all come from the same neck of the woods. And ref Keith Ryan a little bit hurt after being taken down a couple of points during that play. Well, while we have this break in the action, we are going to remind you that the action does not stop with this varsity championship. Next week, we will come to you live from the Max Stern Athletic Center on the campus of Yeshiva University for the JV and Varsity Basketball Championships in conjunction with Max Live. Tip-off for that for the JV contest will start at what will be 1 o'clock. Varsity at 4 o'clock. I'll be on the mic with Frisch JV head coach and analyst extraordinaire Dovey Foreman. Looking forward to that. Another great contest at the Max Stern Athletic Center. And we'll find out exactly who the participants are this week. 2 participants have already been named. Frisch knows that they'll be going to another final with their varsity squad, having beaten Mag and David the other night. We still await to see who their competition will be. SAR and North Shore will square off in the other semifinal.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what happened to Keith. It might be like his back.
Well, Keith got knocked over into the boards a couple of plays earlier, so there could be some residual from that.
I think his back tightened up or something like that.
Very possible. So I think we may get a substitution. Avidan Berman, ref throughout the year as well. So Avidan may get an opportunity. We'll see how this works out. Looking for a shirt.
Let's see if he could get out of his bar mitzvah outfit and into a referee.
So there are a couple of extra refs here on the side. Ironically,
maybe they're just trying to get through the last 118, and hopefully Keith will be okay for the third.
Ironically, I pulled this out of my car earlier, so who knows? Maybe this will come into play at some point.
This might be, what is that, a purple shirt that Avidan's wearing? This might be the first ref
Purple
that
shirt
ever
ref.
wore. Yeah,
And
suit
pants.
This is like the walkout when the Devils,
Does he have a whistle even? Oh, he has a Fox. He has a Fox 20. Hold on.
So we got the lavender ref.
I mean, this makes for a funny moment, but Avidan is a good ref.
Yeah. Oh well. Hopefully this is just a minute 18, and we can focus on the game.
The less we know of him, the better. Action will resume. 1:18 to go. Micah Gazal lining up with Brigida. It's second line for SAR. Second line offense, first line defense, and first line total for Frisch. 1:13 to go. Ball in the corner. Kraus coming around. Ooh, tries to lay in front. Great defense by Knapp.
Gazal had a great opportunity to use the backhand, and he just couldn't get it past Srolowitz's shoulder.
Hain, 55 seconds left. And we're going to get ourselves a whistle around center court. 51 seconds left. Tie ball game. 3-3. Asher Rudman, 2 goals in this period to tie the game up. Once was Frisch running away with the contest early. SAR coming back late. Hornblast. And I say late, meaning of late.
Right.
Knapp. Ball by Hain. Hornblast and Knapp. Hornblast trying to come behind the net. Knapp neutralizing him. Ball will go out of play, and we got a deflection ball. Will stay down deep in the SAR zone.
I will say that
zone.
since Konovich gave up that third goal, his play down low, like on every low shot, whether he was making saves with his pads or making a save and using his stick to send it to the side, has been spectacular. I mean, really, that's a big difference from the early part of this game.
I think we could award it to first period jitters. I think he's definitely found his groove again. Konovich misplays that one. Ball gets sent. Fight. Alter trying to curl out with 17 seconds left in the period. Nayewitz neutralizes him. Rudman sends the ball down to the opposite corner. Knapp tries to backhand it out. 10 seconds left to go in this period. Ball flows to the middle. 4 seconds left. Hain will kill this off, and the period will end.
I got news for you. You're on air in between periods now because Avidan is now an official.
Oh, how terrible. Things I'm not used to before. Thank you, David.
Maybe this will be our first official to co-host in between periods.
Well, it depends. We'll see if Avidan wants to jump back in his striped shirt. So, Avidan, are you going to be asking for extra pay now?
I'm gonna try and get a report on the official.
All right. We'll be back in a few moments with the second intermission here in a 3-3 contest in DRS, the Varsity Championship of the 2022-2023 MYHSAL season. Back for the second period intermission. Elliot Weiselberg filling in for Avidan Berman. Now jumping into officiating duties, at least for the time being. I'm here with Josh Cass. Josh, what were you and Avidan discussing while that period was going on?
Yeah, let me just start by saying this is an absolute first for me. Never in my career as a player, as a coach, a commentator, have I ever seen a fellow commentator, let alone Avidan of anyone, guy who's we need being substituted for a referee in the middle of a game. Absolute first for me. In terms of what we were talking about, though, we were talking about initially how the first period had the potential to get really, really ugly. And after SAR managed to get a goal back and find a little momentum, draw the penalty, gain the power play, not score, but finish the period on a much better note than starting it, it was going to be interesting to see how they were going to come out in the second with a little bit of break. Their heads are in the game. They themselves are now in the game. And second period comes, take 2 penalties. One debatable a little bit in the confusion with Glassman and Fenster getting tangled up, and sometimes it's just, whichever way it's initially seen.
We thought both of them were going to the box.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, that's we were saying very similar things, and all of a sudden you get a Frisch power play. SCR kills it off. Another Frisch power play, SAR kills it off, and I think that's really what really helped start their momentum. It was tough to start with anything because, you're starting a period fresh and it's just going back and forth. But killing off a penalty, we see all the time, gives a team momentum. Gave SCR momentum, score one quick goal on a cross pass from Gabe Hornblast to Judah Haynes to Asher Rudman. And the next one, Asher Rudman spins one in unassisted. Didn't look like there was, much blocking the ball, but it did look like Srolowitz may have been screened. Couldn't quite tell. So with that being said, very, very interesting sequence of events. And I think that more than just the fact that it was an interesting sequence of events, it happened very, very fast. 2 goals in a span of very, very close to around a minute, a little under a minute, a little over a minute, just about.
About a minute and a half, yeah.
About a minute and a half. Okay, fine. Not so far off. But either way, very quick turn of events. And all of a sudden, what was once a 3-0 game, SAR's come back with 3 straight of their own. They've got momentum, and really just a dogfight for the last couple minutes of that second period.
And it's a tie game. We're going, again, another game today where we're going into a period, into the third period, all even.
Yeah, and I think that more than the fact that we're going into a period all even, it's come in massive waves. If you looked at that DRS-TABC game early on, that was a 1-1 game. There are ways to see, or ways you can say, okay, it's a 1-1 game. You know, in championship, you're going to get tight defense. You know, maybe you get explosive offense, which is something we're seeing here. You know, not blowing the doors off this game, but 3 goals each, and in the fashion they've done it, 3 unanswered and 3 unanswered, is something you don't always see, let alone in a championship game. But here we've seen it, and all of a sudden, what was once a 3-goal Frisch lead and a 3-goal SAR deficit has now been erased like that. And I think that when all said and done, we're looking at one heck of a third period coming up.
Well, over the next 12 minutes, we'll find out whether the goals will continue to be unanswered or whether they will be answered by Frisch. We have 12 minutes left of this varsity contest. Brought to you right here on the Yeshiva Sports Network. Thank you again to our sponsors, the Nachum Segal Network. You all know Nachum. Nachum's voice in the morning has powered generations over the 30-plus years that he has been a voice of the Jewish community. Pleasure and an honor to call myself a part of the Nachum Segal Network. And glad and proud and honored and flattered to have them as sponsored here today. Josh, we went to overtime this afternoon talking about who the golden goal would come from. Do you get a sense that the golden goal could find itself in the third period as opposed to overtime?
You know, very possible, but the last time we had a championship matchup and a doubleheader in the same day, it was double overtime. We had Kushner against TBC go to overtime in 2019. Triple overtime, let alone overtime. And we had Frisch DRS going to overtime in that game as well.
The full extent of the first overtime.
The full extent of the first overtime.
12 seconds left before
12 seconds left on a shorthanded goal by Elliot Eisner. Who could forget? And it's going to be very interesting. And, you know, you mentioned getting to overtime when this is the last thing I'll close out with before the third period begins is you're talking about overtime, but we've still got 1 period left to play. This is the seniors, very possibly all of the seniors in this game last moment playing in a Yeshiva League hockey game. That means anything at this point. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. They got to dig deep for this one because this is the last chance they could possibly be getting. It's going to be interesting to see which senior class wants it more here. They're both driven by them. I think we're set for an exciting finish.
Great to see Keith Ryan back on the floor. That means Avidan Berman returns to his sideline commentary duties. And with SAR jumping on the floor, Frisch coming behind them, we will end the second intermission. We'll be back in a minute with the beginning of the third period here on the Yeshiva Sports Network. Our presentation of the Varsity Championship of the Hockey League.
David.
We are back with the third period of play. What sets up to be a fantastic period. Each team with their own waves, as Josh Cass called them, of goal momentum. Three goals by Frisch early on. SAR countering with 3 of their own. And now we enter a third period. See who wants to take the third period and run with it and bring home the hardware.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, I would love to be in this game. Obviously, you've seen so much, and you're going into the third period tied. As a coach, I always try to pick apart the other team. I see what I need to see in the Frisch end, and the same thing, but different on the SAR end. On the Frisch side, one line is really propelling them to this victory so far. On the other side, you're seeing some strange changes sometimes. Sometimes some defensive players are on that shouldn't be in key moments, and they're not really matching up well with Fight and Alter on every single shift. That would be priority number 1 for me. And that doesn't necessarily mean, your SAO. It doesn't necessarily mean you say, all right, Gabriel Holmbrass, I want you to go out and play defense against their first line. No, they have guys that can really run the gamut. Hornblast, Rudman, Kraus, Gazal. These guys, so there's 4 there. So when Fight and Alter are off, you could definitely come back with at least 2 of the 4, and you have to see 2 of the 4 on every single time, and they have to come back to help as well.
Well, right now, we're about to start the third period of play. Hornblast matching up with Fight. Ball bounces. Nayowitz sends the ball down into the DRS zone. Knapp tries to backhand it. Alter. Hain. Nayowitz. A little change on defense with Nayowitz and Hain. Nayowitz sends the ball to the middle. Hornblast neutralized. Ball sent to the net. Konovich pounds on top of it. Change in the defensive lines there for SAR. They matched Perla up with Fencer earlier, and now they have Hain and Nayowitz together. So I guess that's the lines they're going to be running with the rest of the game.
Well, who knows? Because this is just the first shift. Maybe they're going to go down to 3 defenders. Who knows?
Possible. Fight down to what a save by Konovich off of Alter.
Again, 27 seconds into the third period. You can't let Fight at the foul line turn and shoot on the forehand.
Yeah.
If you're going to give him something, give him a little backhand, but not like that.
Konovich saw it right and settled in, though. Fight tries to send the ball back, neutralized by Hain. Fight tries to send it across. Rudman drops back and sends it out of the zone. It comes back to Rudman. Rudman shoots, misses the net. Knapp tries to backhand it out. Gets to Konovich. Konovich will take the whistle with 11:17 left in the third period of play.
And still, the first 6 minutes of the third period, or until the first whistle after the 6-minute mark, it's still a long change for both teams. So it's still hard, and you could get caught out there.
Not only that, but you look at the way the teams are positioned. SAR going against the big wall. Frisch has to believe that if they can at least weather the first 6 minutes, they'll have the advantage on court play, just given the opportunities that the bounces will create.
Right, that back wall right behind Strolowitz there right now is a bouncy wall.
And right now, SAR knows they have to try to take advantage of it before the switch because they may not get that same opportunity. Gazal with Brigida on him. Gazal tries to backhand it. Alter picks it up, moves across the floor. Gazal, speedy getting there. Alter sends the ball, it's goal! Konovich hit off Konovich and deflected in. Alter puts Frisch back on by 1.
Yep, and that's precisely what I was talking about. You can't let this line do that. You let Alter roam around too much. There was no forward coming back to help out. Not only that, but when when those 2 guys are on the court and you have it in when you, as a defender, you're playing against them, you have the ball on your defensive stick, you must clear it right away. There's no second chance, especially with a guy like Fight. And there, the shift before, he had an opportunity to spin, and Alter now comes through the middle again and puts Frisch ahead 4-3 with 10:57 left.
So Alter now joining Fight with 2 goals this game. 4-3, a minute 3 into the third period. As they're reminding the fans to not push the boards onto the court. Hornblast matching up with Geisler. Second line for Frisch, getting minutes out there against the top line. We have a penalty or an offsides? We got an offsides. Took a couple of seconds, but we do have an offsides. And so we're going to continue to. It looks like we'll continue to see Frisch's second line offense and defense out against SAR's top line.
That's the advantage SAR does have. But again, when Frisch's top line is out, you got to really pin them down.
Konovich gloves it.
And the same thing now, Geisler and Hilbert. Their job now is just to keep the ball deep in the SAR end, and maybe they make a mistake, maybe they take a penalty.
Even if not, you're by them being in there, as you see the switch up happening now, by them being in there against Rudman and Hornblast, you're taking. If the more you're successful in your zone, the less their top line is successful on your end of the floor.
That's right. Your offense is your defense there.
Absolutely.
And that's fine.
As guys are wasting the time right here. Ball kept in. Hilbert sends the ball. Geisler trying to use his feet. Ball gets sent across. Srulowitz sends it across forehand. And Geisler, it's Geisler. Geisler number 8, Hilbert number 9. Fenster, Hilbert coming in to help out. Stick dropped on the floor. Hilbert trying to come around, hounded by Hain. Sends the ball through the middle. Rudman picks it up, sends it down. Srolowitz with the whistle, and I think he may see the change now. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that is a perfect, I guess, second or third line shift, except for the very end when they tried that back pass out of the corner and it went out of the zone. That results on a deep face-off in their end, but they got through the shift. That's the most important part. Fight and Alter are back out there, and Frisch seems to be okay. They made it through that shift.
There's got to be a conversation on the bench. Eat the ball if you don't have the play in front of you. Eat it, and the worst thing that happens is the face-off is where you are.
Right, no blind passes to the middle, which may carry out of the zone or through the middle. No back passes to the point. Nothing like that at this point for that second line for Frisch.
Absolutely. The good thing is now for Frisch is they got their top line on. They have a tired Hornblast and Rudman. Hain just came on. Neowitz was
I have
on
a
for
feeling
bit.
Neowitz might go for the full 12 here in the third period.
I don't know if you have a choice unless you want to start trying to rotate Kraus back around there just to get some power from the line. But Neowitz really is the bomb shot from the line in today's game for them. And it really hasn't come from anywhere else on the line.
More than bomb shot, but he can pick the ball up in his own end and go with it. That's the most important. And that breaks down the other team.
At some point, you might actually see Jacob Schwartzman go for it and put Kraus back and try for the power line against maybe Frisch's second line. Whistle in the corner, 9:46 to go. 4-3 Frisch. Alter goal, a minute 3 into the third period, a difference maker so far. Again, good to see referee Keith Ryan back out there. Drops the ball, and we're going to get a whistle. Ball not hitting the ground. A little bit of a jump by Knapp. They're just going to reset. Hornblast and Knapp back again at the faceoff circle. And now they're going to kick Knapp out for the second faceoff infraction. So Brigida, one more. He's going to get a penalty. It's good. Here it comes Fight. Fight has the ball. Fight tries to come around the net. Neutralized by Hain. Great job. Great stick work by Hain. Knapp. Ball gets sent out of play.
And that's what Hain really needs. One touch and out. He knows he can't really look up and try and find Rudman or Hornblast with a breakout there. It's more important to take care of the clearance when Fight and Alter are right behind you.
Right now he's really doing the job against Fight. But it hasn't been Fight that's been the issue for the SAR team at the moment. Ball deep in the Frisch zone, until they change. Rudman.
Amazing pass by Hornblast across.
Great block by Knapp also. Neowitz sets up for a shot. Block again by Fight. Konovich gets it out to Neowitz. Neowitz tries to send it across. Hornblast turns full. Tries to dangle around, doesn't get it. Alter blocked by Hain. Alter tries to turn. Fight doesn't want to get there. Alter tries to come around, doesn't get there either. Alter grabs himself, puts it down. Blocked by Neowitz.
Ooh.
SAR really selling out.
I mean, for real, it was 2-on-2 down low.
Hornblast got a block shot. Both defenses really feeling the heat of it and really jumping in, knowing that there isn't much time left in this game.
That's right, but, if you look, here's Neowitz doesn't even look at the bench. Doesn't even look at the bench. He's not interested. So
he'd probably wave him off even if they did. So
correct.
What's the difference?
So he's not going to look. He's going to keep his head down and just play the rest, it looks like.
Gazal going to match up with Srolowitz. Ben Srolowitz. Ball gets to Glassman. Glassman hits it out. Geisler. Bodied up by Fenster. Kraus sends the ball to the net. Ball gets ball loose. Covered up by Andrew Srolowitz.
And it's important when Fight and Alter are off, and of course Neowitz is staying on, that A, he doesn't get tired in the defensive end, and B, that's his chance. If he gets a loose ball in the defensive zone, he's going to go with it.
Again, it goes back to our counterpoint with the Frisch offense and the second line. The more they keep the ball there, the better it is. The less they keep the ball, the fresher SAR stays. Kraus turns. Comes across. Backhands it. Oh, just misses. Great backhand shot. Tries to come across. Levinson sends the ball to the middle. Neowitz gloves it. Gets back to Konovich. Ball sent to the board. Kraus moving up. Kraus sends the ball down. Gazal did not keep running.
Yeah, Kraus should have shot that, and he had Gazal for a rebound there.
Glassman misses the shot. Glassman, ball taken from him by Fenster. Fenster runs into his own man. Glassman sends the ball stopped by Nayowitz. Nayowitz to Gazal. And we got an offsides. Kraus could not hold the line, 7:53 to go.
And something real, now look what happens. You have Frisch's first line on, and Nayowitz is completely gassed and headed to the bench.
He played the entire 4 minutes and 7 seconds to this point in this period. So he's earned it, but certainly not a gamble you really needed to take.
And he's off, and at the same time, we have Dolphman and Shakin.
And Hain and Fenster.
So this is going to be a tremendous shift for SAR to get through. They really need to get through this unharmed.
Knapp sends the ball to the corner. Fenster. Ball out behind the net. Brigida comes up with it, sends it to Fight's area. Fenster trying to get it out. Cannot. Hain able to chip it out to Shakin. Dolphman coming in behind. Dolphman backhanded save. Oh, wow. Dangerous play by Knapp, sending the ball back through the middle. Fight. Ball gets taken off by Fenster. Fenster moves up. Tries to pass it through. Alter. Fight. Fight and Alter. Fight and Alter. Fight sends it. Konovich covering up the 5-hole. Fight looking to slide it in between the pads.
And the incredible thing is that Fight was bearing down Konovich with his eyes on him and his head up. He wasn't looking down at the ball at all. He was looking at the net where to shoot it. He thought he had a spot. And when he released, he thought he had a goal, but he didn't. He's going through the motions right now on the court saying, what just happened?
He had a snap decision to make. It was either try to get the ball across to Alter. He took the shot. Ball went 5-hole. Did not go in, though. Alter tries to send it across. Shot. Winds up. Doesn't get it.
Big block by Asher Rudman there. Got his stick in the shooting lane.
Rudman playing defense just as well as he plays offense. Alter sends the ball to the net. Saved by Konovich. Hornblast now on the court. Got the first line back on. Ball drop. Ball sent Rudman, and a save by Srolowitz. Rudman almost had it there.
And more to the point, Hornblast was a hungry hippo to the right side. He was swiping away, just hoping the ball. He was hoping he would see that Milek ball.
6:48 to go, so at least another 49 seconds before we see a switch. Frisch changing up to their second line, keeping with this matchup against SAR's top line, trying to keep the advantage. Hornblast.
And just to note, SAR did get through that shift against Frisch's top line without Nayowitz.
That is true.
Who's still resting.
Yep. Hain flips it out. Ball goes behind. Srolowitz knocks it behind. Ben Srolowitz's brother. And we're going to get ourselves a whistle. A tripping penalty.
Wow.
Andrew Srolowitz's going to get a tripping penalty. And that'll put SAR on the power play. 6:27 to go in this third period. And we'll see who Frisch decides to call off. This is going to be a big decision. Who do you pull off for this penalty kill? Right now it looks as if Knapp and Srolowitz are out there. Alter's gonna kill as a chaser, but who is going to serve? That's a big question. Is it going to be somebody that's used, or is it just going to be, well, they're going to put Jakey Fight in the box. So they're going to be without Jakey Fight services now for a minute and a half. Interesting call. Yes, you save a defender, but Fight is also a potential chaser if you really need him.
Well, who's after Alter?
That's the question. You're going to have to try to potentially depend on Knapp to move up, maybe bring Brigida in. But it's a question that you need to answer. Fight's reach and his ability to control the play for seconds on end makes him a valuable component, and it's interesting to see him in the box.
Yeah, you lost him now for the next minute 30 through the 5-minute mark of this game.
I guess the advantage is you potentially get him a minute and a half break. Rouse, and the ball goes in off of Knapp's leg.
That break is going to be shorter. Very short break.
Hits Knapp's stick, hits his leg, and goes in past Andrew Srolowitz. And we are tied at 4. 6:14 to go. Third period, we are tied again.
And what's incredible is that SAR got through that shift without Nailwitz. And there were opportunities down here for Frisch. They couldn't create that 5-3 lead. The power play came. They took advantage. Kraus scores. Now we're tied with just over halfway of the third. Second time today.
We're in for another amazing finish, and both of these teams are hungry for it. Nope. All gas, no brakes. 6:14 to go. Gonna have both teams' first lines out there now. Hain moving up to the first line with Nailwitz. And here we go. We are set for an exciting finish. Power play goal. Ball dropped to midcourt. Fight moving with it. Ball goes back. Brigida. Sent to the line. Kept in by Nailwitz on a backhand. Knapp tries to backhand it out. Fight takes the ball. Sends the ball over to Alter. Alter just misses the hat trick. Hain. Ball kept in. Ball sent to the middle. No connection there with Fight. Out of the zone. Thought that went out of the zone, and we'll get a whistle. 5:35, and we're going to switch.
And that Alter shot hit something, and we're right behind the net. I literally saw the ball spinning in the opposite direction.
Jeez.
Almost caught in the air. Still on top of just above the goal, right near that crossbar.
Right near where you're standing.
Literally 4 feet in front of me.
So now we have the switch. Both teams are on their bench side. 5:35 to go. Both teams scoring a goal in the first half of the third period. We're still deadlocked now. Now just at 4 as opposed to 3. Ball comes back into the first zone. Brigida sends it behind to Knapp. Knapp moves up with it. Knapp sends it across. Alter trying to come around to his backhand. Alter hounded by 2 SAR players. Brigida wide open by the line. Ball sent across, past Knapp. Shaken on him. Ball comes across and go out of the zone. And what a shot by Fenster. Sent down. Nailwitz stepping in front. Brigida backing up. And there goes Fight. Fight moving up. Misses the net entirely. Alter sends the ball to Knapp. Knapp across to Brigida. Brigida tries to shoot. Ball still jumping. Fight sends the ball. Alter covered by Konovich. 4:44. 4-4 game.
Just incredible pressure by Frisch there, and very dangerous shift for SAR. Dolfman and Shaken are leaving the court right now. Kraus coming back on with Gazal. And the Frisch first line is off. And that's the advantage for SAR right now. Every single shift they're going to have, for the rest of the game, they're going to have top 4 talent coming out. While Frisch is really, have 2 superstars coming out, but they are playing together. So it's really every other, unless they decide to utilize a timeout at some point, which I expect.
Just thinking the same thing. We had a whistle here, 4:36 to go. I don't think it'll be this early.
No, but this is exactly what SA wants. Deep face-off. Keep tiring out this line. This line has been excellent for Frisch. All 4 of these guys and doing what they're doing, but they have to hold here late in the third.
Gazal tries to backhand it. Levinson. Ball trickles to the net. Levinson able to clear it out off his forehand. Off the back wall. Oh, guys are almost able to get a stick on it.
And that's the back wall advantage you spoke about.
Yep. Hain to Gazal. Gazal tries to backhand it. Levinson block it. Rocking it out in the middle by Swirlowitz. Ball's kept in the zone. Swirlowitz gloves it down. Sends it out to Geisler. Geisler tries to send it through the middle. Nobody on the other end. Hilbert not able to get there. Levinson moves up. Blocked. Levinson keeps the ball in though. Fenster with Geisler on him and Hilbert on him. Oh, that very close to being a penalty.
That was Fenster picking up the ball.
I called that on him in the YDE game. Did the same exact thing. Refs not seeing that. 3:37 to go. Ball sent out. Levinson. Hilbert. Geisler. Oh! Off the back wall. Geisler. Hilbert touches it. Geisler touches it for a hand pass. We'll get a whistle. And now Frisch will look to come back to their top line.
Nice. I expect these guys to close out the game here, actually, with 3:24, whether it's timeouts or otherwise.
Well, right now you got both teams' top lines on. SAR using their timeout now, wanting to rest up their players and also that fourth defenseman.
Timeout SAR.
3:24 to go. Again, you are watching the 2022-2023 MYHSAL Varsity Hockey Championship on the Yeshiva Sports Network. We are sponsored by the Nachum Segal Network. Thank you again to Nachum Segal Network, our sponsors. You can catch them every weekday morning, JM in the AM, live on the NSN app on your smartphones. Download it today. Take a listen Tuesday morning. You can hear my recap of this game on the Tuesday morning JM in the AM Sports Update. And set the stage for next Sunday's matchup for the varsity and JV basketball championships at the Max Stern Athletic Center on the campus of Yeshiva University, which will be carried right here on the Yeshiva Sports Network and Max Live. Just go to the MYHSAL homepage, myhsal.com, at around 12:30, 12:45 for a 1 o'clock JV tip-off. Right now, though, we are in the home stretch of our two-state doubleheader today. A day-night doubleheader in baseball terms. TABC winning the JV championship 2-1 in overtime over DRS. SAR and Frisch tied here at 4. Potential for them to go to overtime. 3:24 left. Then again, last year, we thought we were headed to overtime at the 6:13 mark of the third period. 2 minutes later,
changed, right?
we had a winner. Balls dropped. Fight. Knapp tries to backhand it out. Hits Hornblast. Hornblast doesn't see it. Alter going to move up with it. Alter sends the ball to Konovich. Konovich did not see that. Brigida. Knapp able to chip it out. Nayowitz sends it to Rudman. Knapp tries to backhand it. Hits the referee. Knapp able to backhand it down into the SAR zone. Ball played around, and then we got Alter, and it's saved by Konovich. Wow!
This line just gets open look after open look. It's incredible.
It almost doesn't matter who you put on them; they're going to get open. It's going to be up to the goalie to make sure it doesn't go in.
Yeah, if you're playing an even up 2-on-2 game, then they're going to get their chances all the time.
Absolutely, and they have 4 goals tonight. Brigida sends it to Konovich. Konovich will hold it. And with 2:41 to go, it is a 4-4 contest. We are almost there. We are literally on the doorstep of overtime for the second time today. Hopefully we're not just reversing the roles of 3 years ago, and we're going to get a triple overtime game tonight. I think we've had enough excitement. We want a winner. Fenster. Fight. Alter trying to spin. Oh, and it goes behind the net. Fight. Alter and Fight in the corner. Alter coming around, tries to poke it in. Konovich jumps on top of it. He doesn't see it. He has it. Had to stick down, thankfully, or else that ball would have rolled and trickled around the middle.
It was under his glove, but his glove wasn't fully on the floor, and his stick was open for a slight second there and then slid it across.
I could see right under his stick from my vantage point.
Exactly. The ball was definitely there for the taking.
2:22, 4-4 in the third. A lot of symmetry on this board. And right now we're waiting for a change for the SAR bench. Second line looks like for Frisch. And you have Hornblast and Rudman still out there. You're gonna have, you're staying with the first line here. Ball sent across. Rudman tries to put it on net, doesn't get it. Swirlowitz chips it out. Glassman. Ball sent, hits the netting behind. Levinson sends it off the netting on the side. And we're gonna be in offsides, and we're gonna get it all the way down. 1:55 to go. Hornblast wasn't able to touch up. Ended up touching the ball, stopping Levinson. Smart play, stopping Levinson from bringing the ball up, but you're going to get the face-off deep in your own zone.
Right. That's not great here.
No, it stops the counter punch the other way when you don't have the numbers. But yeah, Glassman can't get the ball through. Hornblast tries to come around full. Oh, great clear out by Swilowitz.
Wow, Hornblast had a little bit of a gap. He just couldn't pivot on the backhand around quickly enough.
Swilowitz stops the ball, 1:35 to go.
He's feeling it now.
Do we see the top line? Yes, we see the top line coming back out for Frisch. They'll have the matchup against they'll be a little more fresh against this SAR top line. See whether or not this is, and they're going to be rotating. SAR is going to, with 1:32 to go, SAR is rotating its top line off the floor. They've already used their timeout, but their top line is now off the floor. You have line 2. You have Kraus, Gazal, Hain, and Fenster.
You know what? I'm almost fine with it because Gazal and Kraus have been moving, shooting. They've been active tonight. They're fine. Kraus can score. He's a sniper.
Knapp.
They just have to be careful and back check.
Ball gets sent out of play. That'll help SAR on the bench catch a little bit of a breather without the clock running.
Sure. But I think Coach Schwartzman has confidence in the second line, Gazal and Kraus, for sure. They've been scoring a ton of goals in the playoffs.
Right now, Brigida. Right now, what you're just hoping for is for them to just take the pressure off. Kraus tried to backhand it. Gazal has the ball on his stick. Knapp hounding him. Tries to send the ball across. Stop. Fenster gets blocked. Oh, popped in the air. Knapp hit it with his hand. Alter moving up with it. Alter loses the ball. Brigida, 57 seconds left in this third period of play. Knapp sends the ball out into the SAR zone. Kraus turns, heading to the bench.
SAR
and now
changing
now
on the
we
fly.
see the change. Knapp trying to take the shot. Fight. Couldn't control the pass. Brigida.
This is Dolfman.
Yep.
With Hornblast.
Ball gets deflected.
Frisch is tired here.
Yep. 25 seconds. Can SAR take advantage of this? Fight. Moves up with it. Sends the ball, and he's going to hit. We'll get 2 points for the bucket, but it won't count on the scoreboard tonight.
Yeah, wow. Frisch was dead tired there.
You can see there, hunched over. Knapp hunched over in front of us on his stick. 19.2 to go.
And Alter just said, I'm not getting off. He was signaled to change, and he said, not a chance.
Are we going to?
He's still saying, not changing.
Are we going to see a timeout? Is he going to force Yak to call a timeout here?
He might. I mean, if Yak is uncomfortable with the fitness level of his players, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're just going.
Ball sent to the corner. Swilowitz. Ball comes around 11 seconds. Shaken. Tries to send it to the middle. And a lucky roll for Alter. Knapp will pull it back. Oh, that almost ended up wrong. And zeros on the clock. We are going to overtime. Awkward sequence to end the third period. But here we are going into the extra session, tied at 4. We'll be back with the Intermission report in just a moment.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the game. Here we are in a second straight overtime contest. Avidan, I know that you missed out on JV because you couldn't make it, but what do we got? What do we got going on right now?
I mean, this game is unbelievable. What a comeback by SAR. Oh my goodness. And then they get it tied up, and then Alter with a phenomenal goal. And then, SAR comes right back and scores, makes it 4-4. This is unbelievable.
Yeah. This is, we said at the start of the game, looking forward to a potentially even more intense matchup. Who knew if we were going to get overtime at the start? JV turned out to be a great one. Varsity really, I'm laughing about it right now. This is unreal. We got a 4-4 game. To think that Frisch had a 3-goal lead less than the first period. I mean, how has it come to this?
Really, it's just a strong job by the SAR coaches.
Yeah.
Really. They made adjustments. They calmed the team down. They realized they were giving away too much in the middle, so then they locked down the middle. They compressed their defense a little bit to take away what Frisch was taking. And then on offense, they just got the offense buzzing. I mean, it's just both teams' offenses are just humming.
Yeah, and I have to say that really ever since the second period, I don't want to take anything away from Frisch. They've got players who are balling, and they've got, they're doing a good job, obviously. No one's lost this game yet. It's just as much their game as it is SAR's, but it looks like SAR's had the much better play ever since the second period. And really just an unfortunate bounce. Sometimes, your stick gets caught up. I don't believe Andrew Swolowitz really had the intent of tripping anyone. I think that he went, poke-checked the ball away, got player. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get caught. Call went SAR's way in that case, the same way that one went Frisch's way when Tal Glassman and Ari Fenster got tangled up and the penalty got called against SAR. This time Frisch gets the unlucky bounce. SAR capitalizes on the power play, able to tie the game at 4, and we're just under a minute and a half of, going to overtime.
Yeah, so going into this, let's say, between you and I, who's the guy you're going to be looking for from each side to finish this thing?
I mean, I feel like it would, if you're not going to go contrarian here right off the start, I really believe, just based off of, the experience factor, that this probably favors Frisch a little bit more. I got to go Ethan Alter.
Okay. I mean, look, all the goals have come from Fight and Alter for them, right?
2
Fight
apiece,
has 2, and Alter has 2. Alter has 2 goals and an assist. So, but then things are a little bit more spread out on the SAR side, right? So, you got 2 from Rodman, you have 1 from Kraus, I'm missing one, and then 1 from Neowitz, right? So, they're getting a little bit more of goals by committee here. So, it's a little bit harder. I mean, it'd be nice to see Rodman finish. If SAR wins it, it'd be nice to see Rodman finish it with a hat trick. Yeah. That'd be wild. And then, from Frisch, you're expecting it really to come from
one of Alter Fight.
Alter Fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an outstanding game. And really, I got to give major props. Obviously, Andrew Strolowitz has also played a fantastic game, but Jed Konovich, I think, has seen a lot more of the grade A chances, and he has really stepped up to the challenge. We didn't really talk about Strolowitz that much in the pregame because there's no one really, playing in competition with him. He's kind of the set bona fide number 1 starter on that Frisch varsity team. But you've got 2 goalies in Elon Lurie and Jed Konovich who are both fighting for this number 1 spot. Konovich has clearly proven in this game why he's the guy running with it down the stretch here.
Yeah, he's making Jacob look good.
Yeah.
He really
absolutely
is. And I'll tell you, look, he didn't have a hot start, obviously, to the first period. But since he let up that 3rd goal, he's been locked down.
He's been locked down.
He's been the better of the 2 goalies since that happened. So, and it's that's nothing on Strolowitz either, but, he's just made all the big saves. He's been taking away the wraparounds, moving across, making big saves. It's really been tremendous.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, we're looking forward to, hopefully, I know Elliot's hoping this will be a little bit of a shorter overtime, having dealt with this already for junior varsity. But, hey, we won a good game. It's been a great game so far. It can only get better, I'm sure. One way or another, we know that already that this year's varsity game will have more goals total goals scored in it than last year's varsity, which had 8. We're at 8 right now. Question is, who's it going to come from? When's it going to come? And how's it going to happen? So, I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to this one here.
Oh, absolutely. And, with the way the last, the JV game went down, where, it was just like a snipe from half court, it was so sudden,
Can happen anywhere.
I see it, but, that's usually the goals here, but I could see it happening where this is going to be a little bit more of a special goal, where you have a move to it, or you have something. or even like a team effort goal where you're having a couple of passes lead to a goal.
Yeah.
It'll also be interesting to see how the length of the game now affects both teams.
Yeah.
And whether you can hang on.
Yeah. Well, look, we said one way or another, this is very possibly, last period was very possibly the seniors' last opportunity to play Yeshiva League hockey. For all we know, it could be coming in this overtime, and it's sudden death. So let's figure it out. We'll find out. We're going to send it back to Elliot and David for the call in overtime coming up in just a bit.
Welcome back to yet another overtime today. 12 minutes on the clock, tie game. First goal will end it. We saw one this afternoon come out of nowhere at the line. Will it be a similar play? Will it be a beautiful play? Will it be
a short-handed play?
Will it be? Well, we've seen that before. Who knows? Right now we have two teams, both of whom have shown over the course of this game that they want this championship. Both teams are amped. We have Frisch right in front of us. SAR worked their way out, running full speed towards the net. Right now it's all about who wants it more, and it's all about who's going to get the lucky bounce.
And who's smart enough to just fire shots. I mean, this is it. This is any second could be the last second of, say, Alter, Fight, Nap, Hornblast, their careers. This is the last time you're playing here. Yeah, it's fun, and everybody's like, okay, just floor hockey. But the camaraderie that goes with it is missed by everybody that exits this game after high school.
For all but a handful of people on this floor, their career can end at a moment's notice. They'll either be the ones celebrating or commiserating at the end of it.
Yeah. Now we see last-minute preparations. Hornblast talking to Rudman. Fight talking to Alter.
We have the big.
Ladies and gentlemen, start of overtime. Sudden death is now in effect.
As the clock malfunctions a little bit.
Yeah, the clock is stuck at 27, and now we're opening it
And
up.
for some reason, the clock is still running. We'll see how it gets fixed. Shouldn't be too hard. There we go, 12 minutes. 4-4, fourth period, about to get underway. Who wants it more? Frisch and SAR. 2023 MYHSAL Varsity Championship is underway, and here we go. Hornblast brings it up the floor. Hornblast chips him to itself. Alter, run off by Rudman. Hornblast flips it. Nap puts him down. Definitely not getting anything in this overtime. They're letting this play go. Alter comes around the front. Ball just lounging in front.
Alter almost found the angle around wide. That's speed.
Sent down into the zone. Brigida coming around. Oh, it's blocked on the way in. Come out of the zone. Haynes going to be the first to it. Haynes, forehand, backhand, taken away from him by Fight. Fight.
You see SAR collapsing, and you see points open, Nap especially. But
Fight tries to move to the front, doesn't get it. Ball sent out. Brigida chips it back into the zone. Neo, it's going to turn and burn. Nope. Sends the pass. Rudman tries to send it into Hornblast. Fight. Ball comes back into the zone. Nap misses the net. Fight touches up, comes back out. Nap. Nap moving through the middle. Nap. Oh! Hits off of Konovich. This time doesn't go in. Alter. Alter coming around full. Sends it across. Oh, Nap trying to backhand it in. Goes behind the net. Fight for it behind the net. Nap. Fight falling for it at the line. Nap. Sends it down, back to Fight. Fight sends it down low. Alter sends it to the net. Alter coming around, looks to come around. Sends the ball into the middle. Fight sends the ball. Oh, look at all the bodies in front there. Fight coming around. Oh, wow. Fight. Fight, forehand, backhand. Nap. Looks like a power play here. Alter puts the ball to the net, and Konovich is on top of it. Wow, what a play! What play by Frisch. First 2 minutes of this period.
And it was 2:03 of Helter Skelter there, and most of it was in the SAR end. About a minute in, they were tired, And that last 60 seconds was like, are we going to get through this or not?
And Hain is down by his net. Could just be a cramp. Or
It could be a cramp. When you're out there playing
Yeah.
a 2-minute shift at full speed with full adrenaline coming out for an overtime, that can happen.
Looks like it's probably just a cramp. He's getting up. He's walking off on his own, limping just a little bit. Stretch it out. He'll be able to come back at some point.
Now this is what I'm interested in.
Yep. Kraus, Gazal,
What happens when Alter and Fight have to rest?
Perla, Fenster against the second line of Frisch.
Can the second line break through for Frisch, or is this SAR's chance? We'll see.
Or is it just a chance for Frisch to get back to their first line? Ball's dropped. Scrum forward by the faceoff circle. Hilbert. Ball comes up. Sends the ball. Srolowitz blocks the shot by Kraus. Gazal, and we're going to get a penalty. Wow. That was a bit of a hit.
It was, but it was sort of incidental. I don't think Kraus was looking to hit him at all. They're running after the ball, and there was some incidental contact. And
I think it was more the hit from behind that drew the whistle because he hit him between the numbers.
right, maybe.
Like we said last year, once you see those numbers, you gotta hold up.
Sure. I'm not even gonna make my opinion known because I want to see a replay of that if possible. But
Levinson came into the season with an injury. They're going to take him off now. We got the top line on. It's going to be a power play. 9:40 to go. So are they giving a penalty, or do they just blow the whistle just because he was down? That's the question that we have to ask.
and I think we're not clear.
Is there a
Yeah,
penalty?
there's a SAR player in the box.
Yeah, Kraus is in the box.
All right, they gave it to Kraus for roughing. Minute and a half.
Okay.
So he will be back at 8:10
Maybe.
if we get there. And that's I guess that's the short-term goal for SAR right now. Get to 8:10 and hope for the best from there.
4-4 game. We're in overtime. We have a power play for Frisch. Fight will line up against, looks like, is that?
Reich.
Reich. Can't see the other number over here. Srolowitz. Misfires on the
Reich
pass.
with a great job getting his stick in the lane there. Angles.
Alter sends it across. Srolowitz fires. Saved by Konovich. Fight. Ball gets past Srolowitz. And Andrew Srolowitz will cover up. Little misplay over here. 9:17 to go. Overtime.
And it's a perfect few seconds for Reich there. He got a stick in a passing lane. And this is a penalty killer specialist. That's all he played tonight. He got a stick in the lane, and he got it a deep face-off when he's shorthanded, which is gold.
Right now, Knapp, Srolowitz. Srolowitz moves up, gains the zone, gets the corner. Srolowitz going to look to set up. Sends it around to Fight. Fight has Alter. Alter moving. Sends it to Knapp. Knapp shoots. Oh, what a block by Hain. Srolowitz with the shot, and Konovich with the save. About 40 seconds left on this penalty. Srolowitz. Knapp gets in front of a clearing attempt. Sends the ball across to Alter. Alter gains the zone. Alter pulling up. Alter sends it down to Fight. Fight tries to go between his legs. Konovich with the stop.
And SAR gets lucky there with 25 left. They could take a tired Reich off, who was extremely effective killing there. They're going to bring Gazal out to kill the rest.
25 seconds left in this penalty. Fight lining up against Nayowitz now. Ball goes to Alter at the line. Alter with about 20 seconds left, puts a shot. Fight! Oh! Tries to put it in. Bounces off a couple of bodies. Knapp. Oh, Gasol takes a shot. Saved by Swirlowitz.
Wow.
Alter. Swirlowitz blocked. Ooh, that's going to hurt. Swirlowitz sends it to Alter. Alter going to line up. Penalty's over. Sends it to Swirlowitz. Oh, what a save by Konovich. Swirlowitz. We are 4 on 4. Let's see how this changes. Fight. Backhands it. Alter tries to send it. Does not get it. Kraus getting in the way.
Here's the danger.
Yep.
Frisch tired after the power play. Let's see what happens. Does Alter have
Alter
enough?
coming around. Alter tries to send it behind the net. Or tries to send it to the net. Ends up going behind the net. Gasol able to send it out. Swirlowitz. And we haven't. They called an offsides on that?
They did. I didn't see it.
I didn't think it was offsides. I thought he made it back. Guess not. Guess it was a farmhand that didn't. 7:36 to go. And now you have the matchup in SAR's favor after that kill.
We have, I guess you could say, a well-rested Rudman. Hornblast.
Yeah. And they're going with Fenster and Perla. So all 4 of the players rested. We'll get a whistle for the face-off violation. By the way, I have to tell you, my wife never believes me when I tell her games go to overtime. She always thinks I'm looking to stay out late for some reason. Tonight she's right. Brigida, Geisler, Levinson. Ball comes back behind the Frisch net. Brigida sends the ball into the SAR zone. Glassman gets bodied off. Ball goes out of play. Fenster and Glassman with their bodies up against each other. 7:13 to go in this, I guess we'll call it the first overtime. Let's hope it is over. Let's hope it's the only overtime and we come away with this with a winner. Thank you to our sponsors, the Nachum Siegel Network. Greatly appreciate sponsoring this and the JV Championship. Hornblast sends it on net. Swirlowitz bodies it off. Ben Swirlowitz able to get that up and a cut through a couple of stanchions on the ceiling. Geisler. Ben Swirlowitz tries to get it. Hornblast tried to get through to the middle. Nayowitz has the ball. Ball coming around the net. Glassman and Fenster. Fenster with control, having 2 Frisch players on his back. And the ball will go out, and we'll get a change for Frisch. And again, every shift we're going to get a different advantage matchup. Nobody's going line 1 against line 1. It's going to be the line 1s against the line 2s or depth from here on out, it looks like.
Except now against the top line, you have Hain and Nayowitz on defense. So they have that right there.
The Hornblast is still on the floor. Ball trickles to Swirlowitz.
He's on with Reich, who's getting his first even strength shift.
Well, he did his job solidly.
Perfectly.
So I guess you figure use his legs because he's fresh.
Correct. And use his legs. Maybe he could set up Hornblast
Absolutely.
or gain possession and help Hornblast gain possession.
Alter. Ball kept in the zone. Alter tries to get past the defenders. Knapp able to hit it out. Comes back the other way. Brigida. Hain. Ball's in the air. Hornblast tries to come around to his forehand. Hornblast tries to send it to Hain. Alter gets a stick away. Alter! Oh! Sends it across! Brigida sends it back to Knapp.
And there you see Reich applying a little bit of pressure, which is great.
Tip up to fight. Fight on his forehand. Moves to his forehand. Tries to come around the net. Fight. Sends it backhand to Alter. Alter. Shot stopped. Brigida. Defense in front. Ball comes out of the zone. Knapp pulls it back. And a snare by Konovich. Wow.
It's truly amazing how many opportunities Fight and Alter both just garnered during the game. From out of nowhere, I mean, both of them will just twist and turn, and they find each other in front, time and time again. Elliot, what do you think of this? Are they handling the ball a little too close to Konovich?
You know, I think that the problem is SAR's defense is so compact, it just doesn't really matter. They could be, the further out they get, they're hitting right into the defenders on shots anyhow. So you pick your poison. Either you're too far from the net and you're shooting back into the defenders, or you're right on top of the net and you may get that trickle across the crease with Konovich having so much traffic in front of him.
Right. I find that the last half of the game, Frisch has had great opportunities in front, but not necessarily handling a pass and having something to shoot at. Everything is very tight.
I think Konovich has been handling his crease extremely well the last half of the game. Guys, see right there, making sure that it doesn't roll through the middle. He's in perfect position to make sure that ball has nowhere else to go but into him.
Right, he's using his stick well, and he's also using his trapper to stop play and get that whistle.
Mm-hmm. So again, it's a pick your poison. You're either going to score on a snipe shot that finds its way through defenders, or you're going to be on top of him and somehow it's just going to trickle in. If it goes that way at all. Clearly we're talking one half of the play there. Kraus turns right into Srolowitz. Again, Srolowitz with the second block. Ben Srolowitz playing defense just as well as his brother plays goalie. Ball sent to Andrew Srolowitz. Srolowitz making that save.
Now let me tell you, that was a tricky shot.
Oh yeah. Ball, Srolowitz has two men on him, has Gazal and Kraus in his area. And a great play by Levinson. Textbook defending the two-man in. Textbook defending.
Especially right out of the corner where he was hurt a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. Levinson doesn't get there. Ball trickles. Benster making his way to the net. 4:21 to go. And now, Frisch's first line. And they'll match
They're
up.
back on. And Alter looks dead right now. But as soon as they drop the ball, he's going to just rev it right up.
He'll be faster than everybody else.
Yeah. But he looks extremely tired.
First line defense, third line offense. Ball behind the net. Alter. Ball's out of play. We'll get a whistle, 4:13 to go. Overtime.
And Dolphman's happy with that. Deep face-off. But again, here's third, we're in overtime, SAR's third line. Frisch doesn't have a third line. So maybe this works both ways. Does it help?
Lines up with Shaken.
Does it help you guys breathe, or does it backfire and Frisch turns the tables?
Brigida. Ball gets sent out. Shaken almost had it. Alter gets in front of it. Fight! Oh, what a play defensively. Ball goes through the middle. Alter sends it back around. Fight and Nayowitz. Nayowitz coming away with it. Chipped. Shaken. What a play by Brigida defensively. That was a game-saving play.
It sure was. It went under there. Shaken had his chance. He was shaken and bacon.
Well, he almost had the opportunity to. Almost.
Yeah, that was a very important shift for SAR to get through that, get even an opportunity there.
And now you got back on the court. You have your top line. Fenster and Nayowitz on defense. And you got Rudman and Hornblast on offense. And Russ is trying to figure out where the faceoff goes. It's going to come down low, I guess.
Yep.
Ball gets smacked into the corner. Hornblast. Alter. Send it to the net. Alter almost getting his own rebound off of Konovich. Dangerous rebound. Knapp. Oh, stabbed out there by Konovich. The ball will go into the netting. 3:24. I didn't hear a whistle, but I guess one blew. Overtime, 3:24 here on the Yeshiva Sports Network. second overtime game of the day. JV went to overtime earlier. A 2-1 victory by TABC over DRS. And here we go, a 4-4 game.
And these fixing board situations obviously helps Frisch catch their breath. You know, any time. I mean, not for nothing, I used to ask for some fixes on some of the teams I coached if they had a short bench. Got to use everything you can.
We touched on some of them last year. No need to go through them again.
Some I deny.
Ball sent. Srolowicz jumps on top of it. There are some there are video evidence for.
I doubt it.
Got to watch the right videos. Brigida lining up against Rudman.
Alex!
Brigida. Fencer tries to send it in. Knapp sends it off the boards. Fighting for it. Knapp sends it back in. Sends it across to Nawitz. Nawitz tries to send it up to Rudman. Rudman has it, chips it. Oh, Knapp almost knocked it back to Rudman with Srolowicz sprawling out. Srolowicz able to jump on top of it.
So that's the third time Rudman has done something like that today, and it's a great play. It's either passing to you just get your stick a little bit under the ball, you pass it to yourself, or to a line mate heading towards the net lightly. So if you miss, it doesn't fly away from you. It's still in the play.
Shot on the faceoff goes a little awry. Knapp clears it out. In the zone is Fight. Srolowicz. Brigida knocks it into the Frisch zone. So it knocks it into the Frisch offensive zone, the SER defensive zone. And where are they going to put this faceoff? They're going to put the faceoff high in the SAR zone. And we're going to...
We're starting to get quicker changes from Frisch because coach is realizing his guys are gassed halfway through their shift. And at this point, the guys are saying, no, no, no. But Yak is saying on the bench, yeah. You got to come.
Glassman, guys, are Srolowicz, Levinson. Meanwhile, on the other end, Kraus, Gazal, Fenster, and Nawitz. Nawitz still on the floor.
And that Kraus shot just curved right into Srolowicz. And that was deceptive.
Oh, yeah. Levinson sends it out. Nawitz tries to send it up to Gazal. Gazal stripped. Ball gets sent to Fenster. Fenster, tries to send it to Kraus. Comes around. Oh, saved by Srolowicz. Fighting that off. Doesn't know where it is. Ball gets cleared out of zone by Srolowicz between Kraus's legs. Let's see how the other way. Srolowicz with the save. Glassman. Glassman tries to backhand it. Nawitz knocks it to himself. Nawitz coming up. Hits it over the net into the back netting. Levinson has it. Levinson sends it down. Geisler running after it. Fenster getting to it first. Coming into Glassman's side. Srolowicz will get the wide open look. Oh, it gets... And the ball is loose in front. Glassman. Glassman and Geyser. Oh! Fenster just took down Glassman. No call. Srolowicz with the save. Comes back. Nawitz sends it up to Hornblast. Geisler. Glassman. Nawitz coming around the net. Nawitz sends it right in front of us. Dolphman.
SAR changing the back line on the fly.
Dolphman. Fenster. Loose ball. Oh, wow. And it's a goal.
Hornblast wins it. Hornblast got the puck on the side of the net and he put it in. And there's no doubt about it. Frisch looking, and there's nothing to talk about it.
58 seconds left in the overtime. Gabriel Hornblast with the side of the net puts it right in for the game winner.
I'm sure eventually there'll be replays. But until there are replays, who knows?
Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. Post-game show beginning now. I'm here with the I'm here with the game MVP, Asher Rudman, who had 2 goals and an assist on the game-winner goal by Gabe Hornblast. Asher, you're a junior. You've still got another year to look forward to after this, but I have to ask you, what is this like after no season in 9th grade and a mediocre season last year in JV?
I mean, it's pretty great. Can't ask for anything more. Gabriel wasn't showing up during the regular time, so I had to put up with him and save him with 2 goals. He came back at the end with the overtime goal, but whole season's been great. Just want to thank the Falcons teams for driving me that path and trusting me last year. And, yeah.
What does it mean to you? I want to bring that back a little bit, and we'll get just a step ahead after. But what does it mean to have that confidence from a coach, let alone with the pedigree that the Falcons teams have? I know they're not here this year, but with that being said, bringing you up last year as a 10th grader to come and join it, in the middle of your sophomore year, and then to go on the run that you have, get this experience, all to build it up for this year.
We got 2 great new coaches. Weisselberg predicted 3-1. Weisselberg predicted 3-1. Me and my line mate both put up 3 goals ourselves, which kind of proved wrong, which is a great feeling. And having that confidence going into next year is going to be great.
Let me ask you, if there was one guy right now that you would attribute, the growth and development, who is that guy that's really motivated and stepped up to be a leader, allowing you to grow your game on the varsity level, even from last year?
My father comes to every game, every practice. When I don't want to go something, he starts freaking out at me, disowns me, tells me I'm an embarrassment. So when he pushes me to come to practice in every game, it's really him that got me to this moment. And my rough donkey Kroll, my guy, love that guy.
All right, and final question. What could you say? I know we touched on the Falcons scenes real quick, but your coaching staff this year, 2 new coaches, you said incredible. What can you say about the job that Jacob and Yehuda did for you guys this year? First time, a gym you guys have been playing in for a long time, but a gym that they are not acclimated to and took them time to get acclimated to, and then for you guys to have the dominant run, the success that you guys have had to cap it all off here with the championship.
It's pretty amazing. First year, championship, can't ask for anything more. Cleo did an amazing job. We got to wrap it up, it looks like. Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations, Asher, on the game MVP. You just soaked the headset.
Thank you. We tried to wait for him.
But he didn't take it off. All right, do we have another headset, or is that? All right, his coach wants him on. Yeah, we could get what? We get okay. So we could ask a question or two. We have the we're gonna get the other headset working real quick, I think.
See if it still works.
Does it still? Do you have sound on him?
Yeah, got it.
Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here with Gabe Hornblast with the game-winning goal in overtime. Gabe, senior, captain. I know you don't have the C on your jersey, but what the heck? All right, what does it mean stepping up in this game? You missed a decent amount of time during the regular season, missed the first playoff game, and then come back not even full strength at the second playoff game, go into TABC, beat them there, clinch this berth in the championship game, and then after down 3-0 in the first period, not even a full 9 minutes in. I don't know what happened, but something happened clearly. I don't know if it was you guys, your coaching staff, a combination of both, and just for whatever reason, everything started to click and go your way there.
We kind of just went into the locker room. We're like, all right, boys, this is the championship. We got 36 minutes left. It's do or die here. So everyone put their hearts out. Everyone was screaming. Everyone was going crazy. The boys just got it done. Everyone had heart, and it was a team effort.
What can you say about this team this year when you had the majority of this core intact for last year that was different from that of last year?
This team, everyone's got heart. Everyone wants to win. Everyone goes out to win. Everyone wants to do the right things, play defense, offense. Everyone does their jobs. Jed was great in net. Everyone just contributed so nicely. So, everyone's got heart in this team. That's why we won.
I got one more question for you. You're a senior. This is your final game for you to score the last goal in your Yeshiva League career here. I don't know if there's going to be some kind of postseason event. I know there's talk about it. But even if, right, this being really the last one that really you grasp and you're going to hang on to for a very long time, if not the rest of the time, what is that like? Your senior year, final shot, game winner, overtime winner. It's, sudden death, packed house, down 3-0 all to cap it off. What's that like?
I mean, to score also in final game, it's the best thing. And also to play against my best friends, the last game ever, the last high school game. So that was great to do it with my best friends in SAR, play against Frisch. You know, it was the best thing I ever could imagine, honestly. So I'm just happy it happened.
Gabe, congratulations on the win, on the overtime winner sharing that
MVP,
with
Asher's got that.
Asher has the
So
MVP,
proud.
but congratulations on an
you.
outstanding career, an amazing effort, and an overall just fantastic game. Congratulations to SAR on winning the Varsity Hockey Championship in 2023. And now I believe we're going to bring it back to Elliot Weiselberg and Avidan Berman to close this out.
Thanks again to Josh Cass for that interview. Congratulations again to the SAR Sting. We thank you for joining us on the Yeshiva Sports Network's presentation of the Metropolitan Yeshiva High School Athletic League Varsity Hockey Championship, sponsored by the Nachum Segal Network. Thank you again to my partner, Yeshiva League hockey coaching legend David Kolb, for providing amazing insight and knowledge to the broadcast, and to broadcaster and referee Avidan Berman and Josh Cass for their input on pregame and throughout our broadcast. Thank you as well to the DRS broadcasting team and DRS Live for their role in tonight's contest. We will be back on the Yeshiva Sports Network in conjunction with Max Live next week for the JV and Varsity Basketball Championships on Sunday. Pregame coverage begins at 12:45 with tip-off of the JV contest set for 1 p.m. For Josh, David, the Yeshiva Sports Network, our sponsor, the Nachum Segal Network, and the entire Varsity League, thank you for tuning in to the last hockey game of the 2022-2023 season. I'm Elliot Weiselberg, and congratulations again to the SAR Sting 2023 champions of the MYHSAL Varsity League.
Yeah.